What's up, everyone? I'm Jeff,
I'm Silas.
and you're listening to Death Metal Daddies.
Anyways, welcome back to another week of Death Metal Daddies, guys.
Welcome back, motherfuckers.
Yeah, lots happened. Olympics started. We want to talk
Hoorah.
about
Gojira, might as well get into it, yeah.
talk about all that satanic shit that's going on TV now.
Oh, yeah.
Gojira.
The big wave of Satan. It was, yeah. It's so funny. I'm seeing like all the correction of that now going on online. Have you seen that?
I've been seeing
So,
more people complain about the blue guy and like all these conspiracy theories. I guess they're catching on to our big plan that yes, we are trying to convert everyone. We are
yeah,
after all of them.
yeah. That's pretty funny, man. Everyone's fucking shitting bricks over that. It's just like, but apparently it's supposed to emulate like the old like it's in relations to the Olympic origins, the
Hmm.
festivities were sexual and lustrous and all this other shit. And I'm just like, all right, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah, I didn't even watch any of the opening ceremonies because I forgot about it, and then I just started watching, trying to find the Gojira thing, and then I heard about this other thing, which didn't make sense to me because I looked at it as like, all right, there's a blue dude, but they're saying it's the Last Supper, and they're also complaining about drag queens, so I was like, oh, they are drags. So my thinking is, I feel like people are trying to find things that is going to upset them. You had to see, oh, those aren't actually women; those are drag queens, and then also I think this is the Last Supper. I mean, even though it's a blue dude on a
Right.
plate, just because it's
Well,
a
what I
white
was looking
table.
for, I was looking for the guy with the knife or like the hand with the knife, in the old like
Oh yeah,
in like the traditional Last Supper, or I don't know what was the deal with that? Was that in the original Last Supper, the hand with the knife, or was that like a big myth? Or because I feel like
I feel like I
it
have
was,
seen it. My parents had one. I don't remember. I want to say that is part of it, but also I feel like there's a bunch of different versions. I think that's just the most
yeah,
popular one. There's different versions. But my thing is, why did we automatically think it's Last Supper? It's just a white long table with white tablecloth. There's a bunch of
yeah,
people. Like,
right. And the dude looked nothing like Jesus.
yeah, so I feel like
So
that once the blue dude came out, I was like, oh, maybe this isn't what I thought it was.
yeah, yeah, I don't know. And then yeah, I don't know. It's just really, it's been pretty comical, I think. But yeah, I don't know. Gojira was good. I
Hmm.
think they stole the show. I haven't watched the Olympics yet, but I did watch the Gojira performance, and that was fucking awesome.
Yes, that was. The more I look into it, the cooler it gets because, like, I guess they did the a French Revolution chant as a metal song. They
Oh,
had
okay.
the Marie Antoinette and the
He headed, and
yeah,
like, yeah.
and that they played at the courthouse and prison that she was held at.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that's where it was. That's cool.
Yeah, and then also all those red streamers to represent all the blood from the revolution. So cool.
Yeah. It was badass. Yeah. So is this a new song that they wrote or?
No, I think it's literally just the song is Asa Ira, which is it'll be fine. It's like that's the chant they would sing when they would during
Hmm,
the revolution get their spirits up or when they were off to do something. There's like it's like a whole like folk song during that period.
okay.
So they just sang
Interesting.
that. Hopefully they actually put it on iTunes or something because that.
I mean, the music was badass. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. It was interesting to hear like Gojira with like the kind of orchestra stuff.
Mhm.
I thought that was a really badass sound.
Yeah, when I saw it, I thought, okay, there's going to be people complaining that this is like satanic or something because it did have that darkened element that Gojira is not really like they've always
Yeah.
been heavy, but I felt like this one was heavier and a little bit darker with the symphonics and stuff, and then the opera singer coming out. Just
For sure.
yeah.
Yeah, it was gnarly, dude. It was a badass performance for sure. Definitely a great moment for them,
Hmm.
no doubt.
So, other than Olympics, what have you been up to since last time?
My fucking truck. That's pretty much it.
I think I did
Taking
see you
up all my
posted.
damn time.
Didn't you replace
Yeah.
what was it? The heat? Was it
Oh
the
yeah,
heat
the
element or
heater
heat
core.
core?
Yeah, so I did the heater core most recently, and like I literally had that whole fucking dash off like 2 feet, and like then you have to take internal components apart under the hood to get that heater core to pull out the whole like AC box to get to the heater core inside the box. Fucking giant pain in the ass, but I did it. I managed to do it, and was that a horn? I don't know. Anyways, swapped the heater core. Total bitch to get to, but I finally swapped it. So I was real excited because then I refilled the radiator and everything with new fluid. Drove down to Kaufman Beach Access, which is like, I don't know, 10-minute drive from my house. Got up to speeds around 50, and that thermostat just like temperature was reading perfect, right where it should be. Sweet spot right in the middle. Did not fluctuate whatsoever. And I sat there with the AC on full blast, didn't fluctuate. Drove it home that night, didn't fluctuate. It was solid. Took it out on the highway the next day. And then I get to the highway. And so, sorry, I forgot to mention, after I replaced this heater core, my heat still didn't work, but I was really excited that, my temperature it wasn't overheating anymore. I was like, fuck it, I'll take it. So, but anyways, I get on the highway and now I'm up to speeds like 70 miles an hour while my fucking heat works. I was just trying it to try it. I was like, sweet, man. But then I'm on the highway getting up to 70 and I noticed my fucking meter just raising. And I was like,
Uh,
are you fucking kidding me? I was like, son of a bitch. And so I make it to equal stop, dude, and it's fucking beaming on the H. And I'm just like, goddamn. So fucking sat, let it cool off, drove it back home, overheated on me, pulled over, let it cool off, and it stays in the middle for a little bit, but then I've noticed when it's not overheating, my heat doesn't work. But then when my heat works, it like starts overheating. And it may be a little bit of vice versa. Like once it starts overheating, it just doesn't stop. It never like really comes back down. And so it's just like, I don't know what's going on, man, but I don't know if I've got a bad radiator now. But that's about the only thing left that I can replace. And I've already taken that one specifically out. So fuck it. I'm gonna get a new radiator and swap that. And then if that doesn't do it, then I might just burn the fucking truck down. I don't know.
because I still wonder if it's a gasket or not.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to like trying to tell myself that it's not, but
I'm
it
just worried because
probably is.
I know you're probably the same thinking I am. Is like I don't want to spend that much money, but I'm worried that
Yep.
you might replace the radiator, and it wasn't the radiator or something. It was the gasket. So then it's like, oh fuck, I spent even more money than I don't know
Yeah. I
if you
mean,
maybe.
the thing is, what sucks is like at this point, I've spent so much money already to a point where I can't turn around and sell it because it's an overheating truck. No motherfucker is going to give me near what I paid for it. The guy shysted me, okay? I'm coming for you. No.
You could
Um,
always. I did the same thing. I shiested the dealership.
did you?
I had the
You
same thing
swapped in
going.
your damn. Oh, okay. But did you let him know about the overheating issues?
What overheating issues?
Yeah. I didn't do that when I had it. Yeah.
What'd
Well,
you guys do to it?
I remember driving all the way down there and Dalton went with me, my brother-in-law, specifically because he's the truck guy, He's like he knows all about trucks, has worked on Fords his whole life. Well, so we drive down to Forsyth to take a look at it, and he wanted to make sure I was getting a good truck. And so we meet this guy, and he's got his whole yard's a junkyard, just shit everywhere. But then this truck just stuck out. I was like, it's a lot cleaner than the rest of this stuff around here. So hopefully it's not, as bad. Open it up, it's dirty as fuck. He didn't even clean it, didn't wipe the dash down, nothing. And I was just like, okay, well, that's weird. Usually people clean vehicles before they sell them. Like, whatever. I was living on such a hype of buying a truck that it took over me, and I bought this shitty truck. I was so excited, and I went there with the cash, and me and Dalton test drove it. It test drove good. Temperature did not fluctuate then. That's what's crazy. And it seemed to run fine. And so Dalton, we were out driving it though, and Dalton's like, it is dirty. He's like, I would take $500 off, see if he'll take it. So we get back, and I was like, all right, you take five grand for it? Because he wanted 5,500. And he was just like, yep, I'll let you drive away with that. And now, after I own the truck, dude, I could have got that truck for fucking 3,500. I guarantee it. Because I think he just patch fixed a bunch of issues, like the radiator hose going from the reservoir to the actual radiator cap like area was totally pinned underneath the fucking the air intake box. And so it's like it wasn't doing its job whatsoever. Then I open up the radiator cap. It is like chunky rust, dry as fuck. I'm like, what is this? And then, I start fucking messing around with shit, and then the problems just pour. I was like, fuck me, man. I got what I wanted. I wanted a semi-fixer-up truck. I thought it would be, I pictured myself having a good old time, cracking a beer, working on my truck in the driveway, good old American life.
Some
Nope,
classic
this
rock
shit.
blaring.
Yeah.
Just a scene out of Transformers.
Yeah. Instead, I'm like fucking bumping my elbow, like cutting my fucking hand. I'm like, oh, fucking motherfucker. I'm just like cursing the entire time. There's nothing fun about this shit. Like, I mean, it's satisfying when I am done, because I know it's a new part that's on that truck now. But after I put the new part on and it doesn't fix my issue, is where I just get exhausted and so pissed off. So it's just like, man, this thing has been a fucking nightmare, pretty much. But hey, maybe I'll love it someday. But what I was getting with that is like I'm pretty much, I've got so much money into it, it's like I can't stop now. I might as well just fucking soup it up. I might as well make
Well, it's paid for at least, so it
Yeah,
sounds
it
like you paid
is.
for it in cash, so you're not
Yeah, I did.
under.
That was another thing. I was just like, did you want I was like, I brought cash, but I didn't know if you like want to check. He's like, nope, cash. I need cash. Going through a divorce right now. So she's coming after all my shit. I was like, oh jeez. You're a fucking hot mess, dude. I was like, all right, whatever. I was a sucker for buying that fucking truck though.
It's all
Definitely could
right.
have got less.
It's all right. At least you got one. Because I feel like
Mm-hmm.
that's. I know having all those issues sucks, but I do miss
Yeah,
being able to pretty much. You can haul anything you want. You can get a camper if you want
absolutely.
a boat. You don't have to worry about being snowed in because you got a truck that can get you some ass behind you.
True.
I do miss
Absolutely.
all that, but
Yeah.
I don't miss the other stuff that came with it. Like I
Did
remember,
you sorry, go ahead.
well, I had F-152, the 2014, and it had a lot
Mhm.
of issues too. And I know what you're talking about. Like it's not that you feel good, but it feels good when it works, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
it was still last a while. But then when you fix something, you think you fixed it, and it doesn't work. It's I don't. You just think, fuck it, this is just my life now. Like
It
the AC, the blower motor went out one time in winter, and I was the one who drove the kids to daycare every day. So like, I got to fix it. So I got it, fixed it, it worked, whatever. Uh, then right before we sold it, it went out again during the dead heat of summer. It's like, all right, I'll just
shit.
do the same thing again, just replace the blower motor, place it, doesn't work.
Oh
Like,
shit.
okay, let me look up this other thing. So I was like, all right, this is another common issue with this one. I get it. Same thing, pull, because it's not as extensive as the heater core, but it's like pulling out all the passenger side underneath dash and getting the
Oh
stuff.
man.
Pull it out, pull this part out, wrong size or a different one, put that one in, put it all together. It's like, okay, finally. Because we are in talks with the dealership and they're like, the AC doesn't work. Don't worry, I'm fixing it. And I put it in, doesn't work. Like, fuck it. And I'm like, did you fix the AC? Nope. What do you give me now? I don't care.
man, it's so demoralizing, isn't it?
Yes.
It's just like and it's got to get done. Like we can't just run on one vehicle. Like it's just like we could, but we're not going to. Like I gotta fix this shit. But and so it's just they're lengthy jobs. It's like you can watch a 5-minute YouTube video and they cram a fucking 10-hour day into that video. They're like, okay,
Mhm.
guys, well, I got this here, and it shows them. They like do a fast forward video
All right,
through
we're
it.
just gonna take the motor out real quick. All right, motor's out, and
Yeah, yeah, dude, it's so ridiculous. But so yeah, the woes of truck ownership, old shitty truck ownership.
but at least
But
doesn't it?
yeah.
Don't you feel like a real like I don't know, like you feel like you've accomplished like yeah, I'm a fucking man. I fucking did it. Like I did.
Yeah, it's definitely some like man
Mhm.
achievements in like truck ownership and fixing shit on your truck, I'd say. And like from what I've read online, like a heater core swap that's like a pretty extensive job. Like I
Mhm.
can't tell you how many fucking screws and bolts I undid. And it was really just good guesswork as to if I put them back in the right spots. I mean, I did. I'm really shitty at taking like pictures during those kinds of jobs specifically. Like I have 2 pictures on my phone and from the job. And one is me holding a screw like this next to a hole where it goes in the dash, um in the airbag like panel. Okay. And then I have another one. It's a fatter bolt, obviously a fatter bolt in the picture, and it's just next to a hole where it goes. That's 2 bolts out of fucking like probably 30 to 50 that I took out total. And so I'm like going to put it back and I'm like, all right, I think I got pictures for this. I open up my gallery. I see that. I was like, no, I don't need that one. No, not that. I swipe
uh,
for more. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
it's
I
the
took
phone's
two
fault.
pictures. Yeah.
Phone
I
deleted
was
all the
like,
pictures. This isn't
this
on me.
piece of shit. Yeah. I was like, oh my God, dude. What an idiot. So funny though. But yes, it's you definitely get some awards, achievements there. And it's like I guess I've done this before, so in case it happens again, but then it's just like, am I really gonna have to do this again? I hope not. Replace those things like the heater core. If I am told that I have to replace the heater core again in my truck, no, it's a selling point for me. It's
Would you pay the
absolutely,
extra
I
to have
would
a
get rid of
mechanic
that.
do it?
Yeah, I would. After doing it myself, yeah. Because then I feel like I'll have a little bit better of an idea of the labor hours, like in a shop at least, so I'll
Mhm.
have that on my side. Like, no, when I did this, it only took me 8 hours, split into 2 days. No. They're like, yeah, we charged you for 3. I'm like, oh,
Good man. Good
okay.
man.
Yeah. But it's like it makes such a difference too if you have a lift, like a
Mhm.
fucking shop grade lift where you can literally stand under your vehicle and work on that thing. Because like
Yeah.
nothing is worse than like driveway, like I said, banging elbows constantly, fucking
Mhm.
doing this shit, like trying to turn a wrench way up here. It's like, dude, it is just not ideal.
Yeah. Getting all dirty from the ground, getting because I don't know what's in your driveway, but always like laying on a rock or something.
Oh yeah, it's uncomfortable as shit. I mean, but at that point, it's like, yeah, it's just I don't even give a shit how dirty I'm getting then because I know I'm already going to be sweating my ass off, which, I look like real blue collar when I'm done with that job, but it's just like I'm so pissed off that it's like whatever.
I always think that, but as soon as I start walking from my truck to my house, and back when I lived in town, I'm like, man, I feel blue collar. Then I start working because I was like, no, I feel like I look like white trash right now because all my stuff is still out there. It's like, oh, I'll get to that. Fuck.
Yeah. Or it's like if someone's seen you in your neighborhood, it's just like they think that you're going to be the guy to mug them or something. It's like you think you look blue collar until you look in the mirror and you just like look like a fucking serial killer. It's just like, oh, geez.
Hey, howdy ho, neighbor. How's it going? Shut up, Brad. Not right now.
Yeah.
Truck's acting up.
Yeah. Oh man, that's funny. Well, so yeah, man, that's been most of my week. The better parts, we had some families over, just about every damn niece and nephew I can think of, on her side of the family anyways. So it was a crowded house, but we got the kids out fishing. That was cool. That was really fun to do. And my truck was running good at that point, so I was feeling like real American dad then. Fixed my fucking truck that day, took the kids fishing in that said truck. Hell yeah, man. It was like a power dad moment. And then it's like the next day it fucking overheats and it just lost it all. But anyway, sorry. Getting past the truck. We're not focusing on the negative right now. Anyways, went fishing. Um, didn't catch a fish, but we tried. And the kids had fun. So
What were you trying for? Just anything or anything in particular?
well, so I don't really have a really good pull for it, but I was going for catfish. I got me some catfish bait and some setup, some like beginner setup boxes for it. The like one shitty one at Walmart, just because like I have forgotten most of like the all the stuff that you use for catfishing. Like since I was younger, like I remember fishing my ass off when I was a kid, dude. But there's like this giant gap from my childhood to my adulthood that like I did not partake in any fishing. And so like I've just forgotten a lot of the shit that I had once learned. So I feel like I really need to kind of reteach myself how to do it all. But I got some string at least for catfish. It's like 30-pound test, I think. And then some like bait and hook setups for catfishing. Um, but yeah, I was just, and I strung up one of the hooks and bait and stuff, but the kids only lasted about an hour. We weren't there very long before they were just kind of going nuts and sick of it.
I got
So,
you.
but I don't know. I definitely want to get back into it because I love just kind of sitting there waiting on that bobber to go down or something. I like
Yeah.
catfishing.
What kind of bait you use? Because last time when I was into catfishing for a while, I was using a lot of spam, and that seemed to work pretty good.
That's what I've heard. I've heard like spam and like you can even use like summer sausage and stuff. Um, this time I was using that stink bait. And man, I
Okay.
forgot how fucking stinky that stuff really is. But like once you touch it on your fingers, man, your fingers are ruined. It just smells like you've been digging in a fucking butthole all day, like for the rest of the day. Like you can wash your hands as many times as you want, dude. It's not
Is
coming
it
off.
is it that feeling like when you try to wipe, but you're accidentally get some on your finger, and no matter what, it's
Yeah.
always forever unclean?
Like, that finger's cursed for the rest of the day. You just like keep looking at it as you shake people's hands.
They know that there's poop on this finger. Might as well just go back to bed, start today over again.
Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, so I was using the stink bait, didn't have any luck, not even a bite, but it was pretty fucking hot too. And I don't know the whole like fish activity thing with temperature, if that changes their behavior or not. Like I said, man, I haven't fished and it's been a long ass time, so I don't know. I kind of forgot those things, but I do remember that like I'm pretty sure early morning and it's kind of like an early morning, late evening thing, right? Is
Mhm.
that right?
Yeah, for especially for catfish, I know they're mostly nocturnal, from what I
Oh,
understand.
okay.
But I want to
Okay.
say, so kind of like what you were saying, I had the same issue to where I fished a lot when I was a kid, but there's this long gap, and it's almost like you're starting over again, but you're in your 30s, so you don't want to
Yeah.
ask for help from people, but at the same
Yeah.
time, you want to know more. But from what I've seen, I think the hotter it gets, the more lazy they are. They're become more cathartic, so they're not willing to eat
Hmm.
as much the hotter it is.
Yeah. Makes sense. Hmm. Yeah, and like whenever we showed up to this dock, I like walked down and there's this like ginormous jack dude, fucking has great hair, and he's just like been catfishing all day. He's like, "You want these box of worms, man?" Like 2 boxes of worms he just gave me, and I'm like sitting over here with like a shitty ass pole rigging up like some stupid catfish thing, and like I don't know, he just looked like a professional catfisher, and he was like super jacked. I don't know, just one. It doesn't really have anything to do with it, but
You
I
got
don't
all
know.
those muscles from catching catfish.
Yeah, I was like, damn, dude, you have caught some catfish. Yeah, he didn't even have a net with him, so he probably just like reels that shit in, fucking just grabs it out of
Just
the
fights
water.
until they're done. They're tired.
Yeah. Oh man. No. Really nice guy though. But he's apparently he fishes there at that access point quite a bit. Said that um he catches a lot there. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to go back and try it out sometime. Maybe not with kids. He said, oh yeah, that was what he said. He was a father of four. And it seemed like all his kids had pretty big age gaps, but his oldest was like 16 or something. And then it just got younger from there. But his uh, youngest was still pretty decent. They were like 6 or 7 age or something like that. And so, but he said he just had to take his kids one by one to see which ones liked it. And then he was just like, but you see, I'm here by myself. So I was like, oh, okay. So I don't know. They may get into it, they may not, but I know I definitely want to get back into it because I really enjoyed it when I was a kid, and I ate the hell out of some crappie, dude. I love crappie so much. Do you?
I don't know if I've had it. I've eaten like fish we've caught before. I think John, my brother, made some crappie once that he caught, but I don't really remember how it was. I love fish in general, though, especially like
Yeah.
catfish, fried catfish.
Mm. Oh
So
hell
good.
yeah. Yeah, if it's done right, man, that shit slaps.
Hmm.
But I remember my dad. He would fry crappie fillets up, dude. We'd like just a big fucking basket of like 30 fillets. Oh my gosh, I'd make myself sick just eating so damn many, dude. But it's so good. And it's just that I think you would just do that shake and bake kind of shit at the store.
Hmm.
But there's something about that breading. It like it's so nice and crispy. And you just make up like a good sauce and oh dude, game over. Yeah, I'm all in. I love crappie, dude. It's probably my favorite fish to eat. I mean, I do like catfish, but I feel like I've definitely had more crappie than I have catfish.
Yeah, I love catfish, but when I was getting into fish again, I was like, all right, I want to catch more catfish. We eat catfish all the time, but apparently there's only so much you can eat, or you can get mercury poisoning from catfish. Found out.
Hmm.
So that kind of put some
Huh.
brakes on it, especially since Danny was pregnant at the time, can't have any mercury. So,
Oh wow. Yeah, I know that they're like because they get so big, I've heard that like the older, bigger ones, they literally because they just hang out on like the river bottoms, lake bottoms and shit, like they just like collect dirt, but it like, gets into their porous skin. And
hmm.
so when you catch a big one like that, you can literally leave it in a water tank for like 5 days after you catch it, and you'll just see that fucking dirt and mud just bleed out, and that water will be plumb dirty every day. Isn't that crazy? And I
Uh,
don't mean bleed out like cutting it, it's just like you just leave it in the tank and it just like seeps out. It's just you change that water every day until it's clear. It's like, wow, that's crazy. It's gotta affect the taste though.
yeah. Ugh.
But I've heard that, it's not really the big catfish like that are the ones that are good to eat. It's more of like the kind of you want like the medium sized ones,
Hmm. I can see that.
but yeah. I just couldn't imagine like there's got to be some monster like 6 foot probably plus catfish at the
I
bottom of
have,
lakes.
yeah, I've seen some giant pictures where it's like the catfish is like fatter than the person's torso, and they're having to have people help hold it.
It's
That's the dream.
crazy.
Although I don't think I can catch it with any of my poles because I don't have
Yeah.
anything that's that heavy.
Oh, it's you got to be like, man, to not snap a pole trying to pull that fucking thing up. Dude, I just
You
couldn't
got to
imagine.
think of how much strength that fish would have. Like, how many people would you have to have help you at least pull that pole?
Yeah,
Because
right.
you already get kind of a fight for like a good sized one.
I'd like to get back into it.
Yeah, I gotcha. Um, my week I haven't really done much. Mostly just work. Uh, like I said, Danny and the kids left Friday. Um, Saturday just kind of cleaned everything. Uh, yeah, nothing Saturday. Sunday I went to the concert.
Oh yeah, how was that?
It was good, and I know this is a death metal podcast, but you know what? I love emo music. I grew up with it. I haven't really liked any of the newer stuff, but older bands, emo, high school days, great. Um, It was a great concert. I only went for Armor for Sleep and Thursday, so those are the only bands I cared about while I was there. They were both amazing. Armor for, it's
Sweet.
one of those things for me. These are bands I listened to in high school, never got to see them live. So all these years have been built up like maybe they suck live, maybe they're good live. No, they put on great shows Thursday, great energy, um, especially with like it's a kind of a bigger arena. It's like an amphitheater, but they still it felt like a almost like you're back at the Beaumont Club with like an
Yeah.
emo band. It was that kind of
It
energy.
looked like you were pretty close.
Yeah, so the tickets I got, it was like a seated one in the back. It wasn't bad, but I was like, you know what? I don't want to sit here and have to keep every time I get up to go do something, I have to do the whole annoying in a movie theater, like,
Yeah.
excuse me. So I was like, all right, let me see if I can upgrade my tickets. Paid $10, and I got they upgraded me to a pit ticket.
Oh,
So
hell yeah.
it wasn't too bad. But yeah, the opening band didn't care about, but also I was drunk by that point because I hadn't eaten all day and I did your method of like, all right, I'm going to pregame hard. So brought a 6 pack of Bush Light and just chugged them, chugged a couple of them right before I went to the venue.
There you go.
And I got a tall boy
Nice.
as soon as I got in. So about 4 or 5 beers deep and haven't eaten all day. Just like, all right,
Yeah.
let's bring this first band. All right.
Feeling it?
Yep. But they were not my jam. It was just an acoustic guy with the drummer. So like, okay, this isn't fun. Stick to Your Guns wasn't bad. They had more of like a
Oh
hardcore
yeah.
punkish.
Yeah, I forgot you said they were playing.
Yeah, they were actually pretty good. I was surprised by that. Armor for Sleep, great. Amber Lynn, meh. Felt more like radio rock. I
Mm.
don't know them that well. I know the one song and that was good, but other than that, I was like, eh. Thursday, great. But I left for Hawthorne Heights because I peaked with Thursday. And
Yeah.
I don't know any Hawthorne Heights besides the popular songs. Like, I'm tired. I'm going to go. It was a great venue, but I will say their security sucks.
Really?
Yes. So, what would you expect to happen at a punk concert? Well,
I
okay,
mean,
let me phrase it this way. If you work as security, as like between the barricade and stage, what do you think your job is?
just make sure people don't die. I'm not
And
going to
maybe
try to
catch,
stop a pit. Or
and
yeah,
maybe,
catch people probably.
yeah. They thought their job was to make sure no one moshed, or you
Oh,
would get kicked
geez.
out. And they even tried to start. One of the security guys tried to start a fight with the guy.
Oh shit.
There's a dude in his Signs of the Swarm shirt, very like out of place for where this kind of concert, but whatever. He was the one who was wanting to start moshing, and this big old dude came in there and said, "Nope, nope, you're out, you're out." It's like, I'll stop moshing. Nope, you're out. Okay, bro. And
What?
he turned around and faced away, and the guy just stood there, just did the whole like trying to. That
Did
was
they kick him
ridiculous.
out?
No, he wasn't going to move, and he was waiting for the security guy to try to start something, and the security guy was waiting for him to start something. So, and
That's
then
hilarious.
one got then even there was this girl in the barricade area leaning over people to grab the people moshing to get them to stop. This one
Oh my
guy
God.
tried to crowd surf. As soon as he got up, he was only like 2 people back from the barricade. As soon as he stood up, they grabbed him real quick. They grabbed him from the front and the back because they had security people there. Brought him
Oh
down.
my
Said, "Nope, you're
gosh.
out. You're out of here. Get out of here." They were
Jeez.
ridiculous. It's a
Yeah,
punk.
taking their jobs way too serious.
One girl even got in their face and screamed, "Is like, why won't you let us have any fun?" It was.
Yeah.
It's a punk concert. What do you expect's going to
Yeah,
happen? I
that's
wonder.
so stupid.
I hope those same people are there because Megadeth is going to go play there this Friday. So we'll. I hope those same people are there and
Yeah.
have actual like metal and actual full on moshing, not just emo punk stuff. So
Yeah. Yeah, they need a nice dose of reality. That is
yeah,
shitty though.
yeah,
Y'all
your
should
job
have
is
just
to catch
rose up on
people.
them, beat the fuck out of them, bum
Well,
rush them.
I would say there was also some people like right on the barricade who I don't think were into that kind of stuff too. There's one girl reading a book.
Oh shit, really?
Yep, and then one girl complaining is like, Actually, I'm not here to mosh. Like complaining to the people they were telling to stop moshing.
Oh my gosh. That's
It was,
crazy.
yeah,
Bunch
but
of
it was
pussies.
fun. Yeah, yeah, that was about it. That's about all I've done all week. I've been doing a lot of driving the past couple days. Went to St. Louis yesterday, and then Jeff stayed today.
Damn.
So yeah, St. Louis is a 4 hour drive to 4 hours back. Jeff
Holy
is
shit.
3 hours there, 3 hours back.
Just for work?
Yep, I'm taking like a extension item. So whenever someone extends, I give them an item. I have a bunch of units up the St. Louis area, some in Jeff City area. Just trying to do kind of cover my grounds. Like, all right, I probably don't know when I'll see you next, and I probably owe you items. Here's a bunch of items. So that was just my
Cool.
plan.
Nice.
So a lot of driving, a lot of podcast listening, a lot of music listening. We had a lot of stuff I had to catch up on music wise. We had our music playlist,
Yeah.
and then also we had a lot of Aborted I had to catch up on.
Oh
So
yeah. I forgot that was this week, or I probably would have jammed him today.
yeah, I was listening to it a little bit because there's still, I'd say about the first six out, so half their discography I'm not super familiar
I didn't
with, but
even I didn't even get the reference when you sent me that song. I didn't even know that like, oh, Jeff's jamming Aborted. Fuck. I should have
yeah,
prepared. They got a big
that's all right.
discography.
Yeah, they have the same amount as Behemoth, but I guess I didn't realize that I've never, at least with Behemoth, I've at least scanned some of it. Aborted, I've never listened to their first six albums. So yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, this will be interesting. All right. Should we get into the weekly playlist?
Yes, I actually wrote notes for this one, and I have some other things we can do after that. But let's start with this playlist. Do we
Sweet.
want to start off with the singles, or do you want to start with
However,
the full
sure.
albums?
Don't matter to me.
So for the singles, we have, I'm pulling it up now. So singles, we had the new Body Snatcher, Infested. I love Body Snatcher. This one, it was okay. Didn't super get me. What did you think of it?
No. And I mean, that's pretty much my reaction for any body snatcher. It's not that they're not heavy. Like the band's pretty, obviously heavy. But it's just, they're just not my dig. I don't know. I kind of just get sick of the vocals. There's like a vocal style he does that sounds badass, but he doesn't do the badass one enough, I don't think, to make up
Yeah,
for their whole sound.
like I like this band, especially when it had those like lyrics that are like almost have a little bit of venom in it, just kind of get you. Like it's like, oh, this is dark stuff he's talking about. They had that with Murder Eight had some of that. These past couple ones didn't have that same feel. It just feels like it's just the same song over and over again. It just
Yeah, like this one sounded like I've heard it before. I was like,
hmm
oh, yeah, it's Body Snatcher. So
yeah.
I
And then
definitely didn't stick with it.
yeah, I think I've listened to it twice. And then, like I said, I like Body Snatcher, but this is I still will listen to this new album when it comes out. But I'm not as excited as I was when I heard Murder Eight because I love that song. These other ones are like, meh, it's okay. Um,
Yeah.
what did you think about the new Fit for an Autopsy song, Hostage?
I thought it was cool, man. I really liked the sound of it, but is that Joe singing on the chorus,
I don't
or do
know,
they
'cause-
now
and
have a second vocalist? Because it sounded like Joe sings in the song in other areas where it's obviously him. It sounds like
mhm.
his old self, but then there's this one vocal that kicks in, which I think is like the chorus, but the volume like goes drastically higher. Like, and it almost kind of sounds like someone different.
I'm not sure, and that's what kind of threw me off and kind of it's not the cleans I'm used to from this. Like I'm used to his regular cleans where it's almost a scream, but it's more I don't know. That threw me off and it made me not like this one because of those uber
Yeah.
clean singing in it. I don't know if it's like what if it's one of the guitarists or bassist or if they actually had a guest on it. They don't have anyone labeled as a guest on the track that I'm
Yeah.
seeing.
So yeah, and so I don't know, man. It's interesting because I too The music, and I say music, I mean it's all music, but I mean like the actual physical instruments being the guitar, bass, drums, all that sounds great to me. Like I like the music, like the actual track that they're making, but as far as like the vocals go, I'm so turned off with the vocals of this track. And I don't know if it's like I kind of feel like I'm getting bored with the Joe Bad's vocals. I don't know if it's just his style, but I feel like I heard, this stuff in previous albums. It just kind of sounded the same to me. It wasn't terrible, but I really liked the guitar, man. That fucking grew down it,
Mm.
down it, down it. I thought that was really sick. Sounds badass, but yeah, I did not dig like the Uber cleans and I don't know. It's all right.
Yeah, we'll see. I have a feeling it's going to be like their last up. Like I didn't really care for what was it? What's the name of that album? Oh, What the Future Holds.
hmm Yeah, I didn't
I
care for that one either.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be a little bit like that. It had a good opening track, but it lost steam.
hmm
What did you think of the new Within the Ruins song, "The Last Sun"?
Um, it's not bad. Um, I had that going on the playlist and I could tell like I didn't really check my phone to see name tracks, but I could definitely tell when Within the Ruins came on.
Hmm.
I like the vocals, I think, in this one a lot more than older Within the Ruins. I think the vocals kind of got a little bit better, but they
Yeah,
definitely still got that Within the Ruins sound. It's not a bad track, but is it as memorable as stuff I've heard previously? So far, no. But
yeah. It does seem like they're trying to go back to some of that, but it's still not the same of the what in my opinion is their peak, the first Phenomena album, and then what's the other one? Halfway Human, which is when
yeah,
they started the cleans. But we'll
yeah,
see. We'll see how how the whole album shakes out.
yeah. It'll be interesting. I'll probably give it a listen for sure.
All right, up next
That
was
song "Squirm."
oh yeah, this is my favorite of the singles this week.
This
Which
was like, it was so ridiculous. Like I was like, it was too much chaos for my listening at the time. I don't know. So I gave it like 30 seconds. I was like, okay, this is absolutely nuts. All right, I'm ready. Give me something else. I don't know. I moved on. It's so ridiculous. I'll probably listen to it again, but holy shit, balls. It was just like I was like, what the fuck is going on? But this song is Sang with Sugarbog and all one word, what's dysmorphia?
yeah,
Yeah.
I as soon as I heard it, I loved it. It's like, oh, this is great. This is hitting all my things. It's
Yeah.
fast, it's chaotic, it's a mess, but it's fun.
Yeah.
I
It's
like
a good
this one.
title for it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And then we have so this is the new song by the band Chatpile. I Am Dog Now. Would you? This is the band. I remember talking to you a little bit about when you were telling me about Viagra Boys.
Okay, yeah.
This is a band.
Um,
Is that
yeah, it wasn't too bad. Definitely different. But yeah, it was weird going from Squirm to this one because like
yeah?
it's
It's a
a
big
crazy
vibe
change.
change. Yeah.
They're yeah, big vibe change. Definitely very different genres there. The vocals and Chat Pile, they're like kind of like that sluggish sounding, just exhausted, kind of like screaming. It's weird. But
Hmm.
yeah, it wasn't bad. I
Yeah.
wasn't crazy about it, but
I do like Chatpile. This song I wasn't too much into, but I do love their approach to things because it's a sludge metal band, but the singer just kind of does his own weird thing. And this is something I've talked to you about with what I see similar in Viagra Boys song they showed me is that it's unorthodox and he gives a presentation of almost like an unhinged crazy person because sometimes he does these screens, sometimes he's just talking. Sometimes he'll just talk like I think of it like because I showed Justin it and he says it sounds like a drunk open micer doing karaoke. I think of it like a
that's so
if you
good.
if you had like a drunk uncle just doing a rant. Sometimes he does sings that. They're
Because
fun.
There's a
What's that?
vocal in there that there's a vocal that he does that's like it almost gets comical. It's like,
Hmm.
like what? It's so weird. But
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's what I find fun about them is that they're so weird and so
It's
unorthodox, but it
interesting.
works sometimes. Like their last album, God's Country, they have a song. It's he just does the whole but the song is slowly builds up and it's supposed to be Friday the 13th from the perspective of the mom slowly going crazy. So it's that whole like apathetic, slowly not caring until it's explosion at the end where he starts screaming.
Wow.
So
Huh. It's interesting. I like their name. They got a really cool name. I was thinking I was like chat piles, like, oh, it just sounds like a pile of shit. But
well,
like,
they come to Columbia a lot because I guess they're
yeah, I
friends
saw
with
that. They played at Rose recently, I think.
yeah, and I think they're playing again soon. They're friends with the Kansas City band, I think Nerver.
Huh.
And
Okay.
Chat Pile's from Oklahoma City, so it's not really too far
Oh,
for them.
that's cool. Yeah.
All right. And last for the singles, we have Spectral Wound, The Horn of Marauding.
Yeah. I didn't I don't know why I said yeah. I just acknowledged it. That was a yeah out of acknowledgement, but I don't think I listened to this one.
It's just kind of like it sounds like they're trying to sound like the old school black metal, just slightly better recording. It wasn't too
Yeah.
bad. It was kind of refreshing in a way, but I wouldn't say it's like super good or anything like that. It wasn't bad. If you like good old school black metal by newer bands, it's not
Mm-hmm.
bad.
Yeah, I can dig that for sure. I was just playing it for a little bit. I dig the guitars and shit. I haven't heard the vocals kick in, but it's got a cool opening. Yeah, it sounds like old school black metal. But
Hmm.
yeah, I'll probably give that one a check out. Better scope.
That's it for the signals off or singles off this playlist. There's some others, but we can probably get to that because I have another thing I've with my notes that we'll get to.
Mm,
So do you want to move on to full albums?
let's do it. Yeah.
All right, first up we have Under the Revile Throne, the sophomore effort by St. Louis's own Summoning the Lich. I didn't mind it. There was some good songs on it. I liked tracks I highlighted were Reviled, Crystal Walker, My Horrors Unending, and The Forest Beasts. It's not bad. It's pretty good. I'm still kind of more fond of their first album. However, I think we talked about it previously to where we heard those songs live. So it's just kind of fun seeing these songs premiered live and then finally seeing hear it on an album. This is a different thing.
Yeah.
So having to digest it a different way, it's it's different. But I do like it. I do think they are doing a good job of creating their own sound because obviously there's comparisons between them and Black Dahlia Murder, which you do see some of that with in Reviled Crystal Wielders and stuff like that. There's some parts I feel like they are a little reminiscent of a little bit of Aborted, and some parts like the intro to Forest Beats reminds me a little bit of Aborted's Termination Redux.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I do like what they're doing. I want to keep doing what they're doing and keep supporting St. Louis. What do you
Oh,
think of this
yeah.
album?
You know what's funny is like it wasn't even until like today that I made the connection of Summoning the Lich and STL. I was like, oh my God, they have the same abbreviation. I was like,
I don't
holy
know.
shit. And they're from the same, it's the same location. I
Oh,
was
is
like,
that
wow.
intentional? I don't know if it is or not.
I highly doubt it. I mean, maybe, shit, I don't know. They have a great name though. I mean,
Yeah.
like that's one thing about that band's like been strong from the get-go though. I
Hmm.
remember like seeing them play the first time and I was like, "Oh, these dudes are fucking like they're too legit for local. Like
Yeah.
they're going to be prominent someday." So,
Yeah.
but
There's a
it's
difference
like
between going to like a local band and then seeing this band. They're local, but they don't feel
yeah.
local.
No, not at all, dude. They do a stellar job at performing live and they did a really awesome job with this album, I thought. I like that that little boppy part in Return to the Soil, like the first
Mhm.
track on the album, the down, that like that has been the repeating part in my head, specifically like today. Like it's just popped in my head. Down, I was like, oh shit, yeah, I love that part. But my favorite tracks were, I thought it is interesting though. Like, okay, I love the groove in My Horror's Unending, but I don't dig like the chanty chorus in that one as much as like some of their other stuff. Like, it sounds like it should be like, I don't know. Like, yeah, it's like definitely singable. It's like a singable chant, but I thought like other songs like the Carrion Fleet and Praise to the Bog, the last song, like, dude, those songs are fucking badass. I like those more than the singles, honestly.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think they did something for the Carrion Fleet. I don't know if they did a video. They might have done a video for that one too. But dude, I love that song. And he does that weird kind of melodic singing that
Mhm.
like you hear in Cattle Decap and stuff. And he
Mhm.
does it really good too, man. I wish that he would kind of do that more. I kind of want to hear him do that as a chorus, which I think he's done in previous songs, like on the
Yeah.
last record. I think he did, right?
Yeah. Because I want to say isn't that the chorus of "Demon in the Snow"?
Oh, yeah,
All
yeah. It's
hail
kind
the
of like,
demon of the snow.
well, see that one's more like My Horizon Ending. I think that's like the
Oh,
vocal
okay.
style he's doing. I find those two kind of similar. Like it's like that kind of chanty, but it's like a little more screamy though, or maybe he's just doing a backing scream to the chanty thing. But there's like specifically melodic like um singing. It's like it's more of a cleaner bass, but it sounds like the cattle
Yeah.
like that kind of shit, you know. But he does like the Carrion Fleet, he does that, and Praise to the Bog. And I'm just like, man, I love those parts, man. And I wish though those like the volume was like jacked up on that. I don't know. Anyways, I thought it was a good album though. I mean, I think that I went back to this album specifically out of this whole playlist to jam this one more than the others. So, that's saying something. But it was solid, man. Like you said, they're crafting their sound really well, and I mean, they're definitely honing in on that, and they're
Hmm.
not, stopping what they're doing. So, yeah, I dug it, dude. I thought it was a good listen.
Yeah. So if you're in Missouri, check out Summoning Lich and support these local boys. Um. Up next, we have "Show Me the Body" with Corpus 2 EP1. Um. Why
This
don't you
was weird.
start? Yeah. I
Yeah, I listened to this and what the fuck is this like rap? I
I
felt like
don't
did you throw this on here because of my like whole Bones talk and my hip hop
know. I
talk?
put this on solely because I saw that they were on tour with Knock Loose, and
Mm,
it showed up on something. I forgot what it was, but it recommended it to me, and I saw Zulu is a featured artist on this, and Zulu is like this newer. They're like hardcore punk, a little bit like not as quite like Knocked Loose, but close, more of a punkish. But they also will every now and then throw in like power violence sections, just some like a slammy breakdown. They're all over the place. And they're fun. So I saw Zulu on here. I knew they toured with Knocked Loose. Like, all right, this would be awesome. Um, I don't know how to take this album. It's weird. It's all over the place. Um,
yeah.
I the first song I heard on it because I accidentally had my thing on shuffle was Wings Wheels Steel, um, which sounds like the most boomer thing I think of.
Yeah.
Doesn't it
Yeah, it
feel
does.
that I hear that title? I just think of like those typical biker
Sounds like a
shirts you get from a
yeah,
gas station.
sounds like a hell of a biker bar is what I see.
Yeah, I don't understand what. I'll just leave it that I don't understand this album. I don't get it. It's not for me.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is this? I got like halfway in and I was just like, this is some crazy shit, but
I don't understand if it's in trying to be industrial or if it's supposed to be rap or I don't
yeah.
get what's going on.
Yeah, it's a
Um,
mashup of just like all kinds of shit really. I just remember hearing all kinds of stuff in this, but I didn't know where it was going. It just seemed like I don't know.
it
I
didn't feel
moved
like it had
on.
like solid ground. Like, what is this supposed to be? And Because I feel like they're going into all these different genres, but what's the core of the sound? What is this supposed to be?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not too sure.
Um, Up next we have
No,
uh,
I didn't intend to totally just dog shit on that whole thing, but I didn't really have much to say better for it. So.
I don't have much to say. Like I'm sure they have their fans, and I'm sure they hopefully they don't hear this podcast. I doubt they will, but hey,
Yeah,
hats off to
whatevs.
whatever you were trying to do. I don't get it, but I know you put a lot of effort into it. I mean, obviously you recorded it, and obviously it's the first in however many you're planning of these EPs. But
Yeah.
keep doing it. We'll see how
Hell
it
yeah.
goes.
Keep on keeping on.
Up next we have a weird release by Cavalera Conspiracy. It's actually a re-recording of Sepultura's third album, Schizophrenia.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, this is a re-recorded classic. From what I understand, I'm not super into Sepultura, but I did listen to this one. It's pretty good. This is before they went groove metal. This is back when they were more deathy, thrashy side. Um,
Hell
I
yeah.
liked it. It still obviously has that older feel of how the older songs used to be written, but it is re-recorded, so it has beefier production. Um, what do you think of this one?
Yeah, so this is like a holy reverb album. Like it is just like a thrash party nonstop, like from the get-go. Like even the intro is really cool for being an older album. Actually, for this being an older album, it's really cool in general. I had a lot of fun listening to this one. If you're looking for thrash, if that's your get up with like hyper kind of more aggressive vocals than your common thrash, like this is it, dude. I think his vocals go so well with this kind of music, but like I'm a little uneducated on this. So you said it's Sepultura. So this album, let me get this right. It was a Sepultura album, and then Max Cavalera comes in. He's like, "We're gonna tag that as Cavalera Conspiracy now, or
Yeah,
what?
because
How's that work?"
so it's him, Cavalier Conspiracy right now, from what I understand, is just him and his brother, the drummer, who were originally
Mhm.
members of Sepultura. And then
Right, I remember that.
Sepultura's, for the longest time, carried on without them. And I think now that since they're announced they're breaking up, I think they're just like, all right, well, since they're breaking up, let's re-record these and update it so we can bring it back. Because I'm wondering if they're actually going to do every album that they were on together. Because
Mm,
from what it seems
okay.
like you pointed out that the artist was our boy Ellerin Cantor, and I guess
Yeah.
he's actually done their past two re-recordings of Sepultura albums. And I saw a picture of him with their up next one, admiring the original artwork. So I wonder if he's going to do all the artwork,
Mm,
and they're just going to keep going through. I think up until Roots is when their last album. So I think maybe they're doing it for more of like, because I think he has writing credits, but he might not own it. So maybe this is how they can say they own it and make more money off it, maybe, or they can tour more with
interesting.
it. Because they did do I think it's Morbid Visions and Bestial Domination, I want to say, is the other two they released. I want to say they did two of those.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting, man. It's like so I don't really have anything to go off of listening to this now. Like so essentially I'm listening to a new album, but it's like it still has that old school vibe. But like the reverb is just like so excessive and like they maintain like an echo in there too. So it's like what the fuck? What the fuck? God, God, God. It's like it's just it's kind of like mildly hilarious, but it's really good, man. I think the music is really kick ass, honestly. It's just a total jam. It's just super fun, but um I don't know. Yeah, I think it'd be cool if they keep doing that. I thought that was pretty tight.
Yeah, I do hope they keep doing it, but that makes me more excited for the albums that I am more familiar with from Sepultura, like Chaos AD and Roots. Those are the two I
Yeah,
was more familiar with. That will be
that'd be
exciting to
crazy if they
hear.
did Roots, yeah. So did they was this a totally new album cover then?
No, it's so I think he took the original and then drew his version of it. Like it's almost exact same.
Oh,
It's just that Eller and Cantor did it his way, like it's his style.
I mean that album cut, that artwork. If you haven't looked at this artwork, anyone out there listening, you have to look at it because it just like the eyes in the back of it, dude. It looks like so just menacing.
Mm-hmm.
It is
And
super
that,
badass.
yeah.
Just fucking like evil as shit. It actually looks like the Emperor's eyes in Star Wars.
Oh yeah. So I think he takes pretty much towards. So here, I'll send you the original. But it seems like he'll take the idea and pretty much like it will look almost like it, but he'll actually make it more super detailed and more of his style, more of the water or whatever oil painting or whatever. I don't know which one it is. The super cool painting that he does. Schizo. Is it Phrenic or Phrenia? Phrenia.
Schizophrenia.
Because I know, especially with the first two albums, the album artwork was like hand drawn, terrible, and he
Mm-hmm.
took it and he made it his own and it looked great. Here we go.
Mm.
So this is the. Oh no, let me go back to my camera. Yeah, this is the. I don't know how well you can see that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see it. Oh, yeah. He made it look way better.
Yeah.
It looks like yeah, it looks way too clean in that one.
Hmm.
He made it look way more haunting. That's cool. But it's pretty cool that he still did like kind of the same style.
I do wonder how he's going to do the next one because the what's it Beneath the Remains. It's actually a pretty cool artwork. So I wonder how he's going to do that one and make it his own.
Mm.
That's one with like the skull and I think like stuff inside it that's mostly all black and orange.
Hmm. I don't know if I've seen that one. Yeah, I think it's I said same style. It's not the same style. It's totally different style, but it's the same picture, just different
Hmm.
style. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, man. That dude is just he's an incredible artist, man. He
Hmm.
really is.
Yeah, you think he can do our podcast cover?
Yeah, I bet he would do it for $10.
All right, let me email him.
Yeah.
All right. Up next, we have an album I really liked. I don't know how to pronounce this band's name though.
Near
Ira
Nira.
Nira.
I seen a little promotional video from the vocalist, I believe, just promoting this album. Um and yeah, it was a cool listen, man. I thought this
Hmm.
kind of took me back to you get some like early 2000s kind of metalcore in here, but then they kind of have like some more sophisticated breakdowns and stuff, and just kind of like mid scream vocal kind of throughout. And is there two vocalists? It seems like there definitely is in parts.
I don't know. It's weird, but it's good. Like I
Yeah.
can't put my finger on it because I listened to this whole album and it was just like I can't really pick a favorite. I did write I love the first song, but after all that, I was like, oh, they're all good, but they're all the same level of good. So I kind of get lost in which one's my favorite. It was this is a fun listen. I recommend this one.
It is a fun listen, but and it's not that all songs sound the same. Like they all kind of have
No.
like the whole album has a really good collective vibe, but the songs definitely do kind of differ from each other, which is good. And
Hmm.
so, but there is, I wonder on the vocalist because there's definitely obvious parts where I was able to pick apart two tracks completely, and but there's one track like where the vocal will hold out the word longer than the other one, but it's an obvious difference. So that kind of tells me that there is two different
Okay.
vocalists going on, but I don't know. I'm not 100% on that. But yeah, I agree, dude. It was a fun listen for sure. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I recommend this for anyone. This is Nira with their new album All Is Dust. Um, Up next was something we've been talking about doing, but we finally just now did it, and that is the new album by Achilles, House of the Black. Is it Gemini? Yeah, House of the Black Geminis.
Yeah.
What do you think of this?
Yeah, dude, this album had an awesome sound. It's really cool. They're kind of one of those bands mixing like the high-tech sounds with a really highly produced black metal sound, almost in
Hmm.
the vein of a Now Krath. But I'd
Okay,
say
yeah,
these guys kind of uh they kind of do a bigger epic feel than that Anal Krath does. But like a super crisp sound, but it's just they're fucking brutal all around. I'm surprised they're not bigger than what they are. Um, but it's a huge sounding album. They're definitely repeating a lot of riffs, a lot of beats and stuff in here. Like the songs, I'm pretty sure are super long, but it's all really good though. But
yeah. I I love the sound. Like, I have zero complaints about the music they're playing. My only gripe is though is, and you mentioned it, is the length of the songs. I do
yeah,
wish they were a little shorter. Uh,
yeah,
but everything in between, like it's like the first track is 11 minutes and 53 seconds long. It's long, however, um, it's great. Like there's not a dull moment of it. Like the riffs start in the first 4 minutes. It's like there's no vocals yet, but you just hearing them jam. It's great. The riffs are great.
mhm.
It's got
Yeah. They
that.
got a gnarly ass sound, dude.
Oh yeah, it's great. And but sometimes I did feel like, is the song over? Because I feel like they do a lot of like false endings. It's like, oh, is the song over? Well, there's 3 minutes left. Oh, okay, they're back. But
Yeah,
it's still a great listen. The shortest song is the interlude song Black Geminis. But other than that, Sister Silence, Brother Sleep, great. Mesa Phobiter, great. And then also the opening Mask of Night Speaking. It's a great album.
yeah,
I understand why we've been talking about this album and we finally put it on here because this came out what was the beginning of this month.
yeah. It's a little bit older release, I think. Let me see. I think it hit Spotify late though. It was on
Oh, okay.
Bandcamp before it was Spotify, but this Spotify says July 5th. So,
Okay.
so yeah, but solid listen, dude. The
Yeah.
band, like they have a haunting sound. Makes me want to see what they're like live. I wonder if they like look as like just terrifying as they sound. Because
They
man,
got
they
a
just
cool
cap.
they got a cool picture on their Spotify profile.
Yeah, their album covers are just they're like scary. They're spooky. Spooky band.
Real scary like. Yeah, this is a good.
Especially the album that came out in 2015, The Dreaming Eye. It's got a witch on the front, super spooky. Or like this 2019 album, Supplication, super spooky.
Ooh, ooh, turn my neck that on. All
No,
right.
yeah, they're a cool band, man. They got a cool sound, cool vibe.
Yeah,
Haunting
this
AF.
it was good. It did take me a minute to finally sit down and listen to it because like I said, the first 4 minutes, like, oh, this is good. Then I look at it, it's like, oh, I got 7 minutes left. I'll
Yeah.
come back to this.
Yeah. Yeah, their songs are definitely rides. They got some
Hmm.
long ass songs, but it's worth it. It's worth the dive.
Yeah. Up next, we have this is the album I probably checked out the least. This is the new album, Only the Strong by Trail of Lies. Um, it wasn't bad.
Sorry, I don't mean to
But
laugh, but there's just a lot of cheesy lyrics. That's the only thing that made me stray away from this album.
I got you.
Uh, but as far as like the music goes, I really liked it. I thought the hardcore tunes were cool.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. But I do feel like it was like this is like the least listening to it is like, all right, this is the album I can already tell this is one I'll like the least. So let me at least check out these other bands. And that was my
Yeah,
feeling
for
listening
sure.
to this. I was like, all right, I think I've already got the vibe of this album. It's not bad. I can pop it probably from time to time, but let me check out these other bands that I probably need to do a deeper dive on, especially when one of them has 11-minute songs that are kick ass. But
Yeah.
I don't want to have to restart everything like an unsaved game.
I will say it's like weird Trail of Lies. It sounds like I listened to it maybe more than you did, but they're like your common hardcore band. They're gonna be talking about like beating your ass and die
Hmm.
bitch, shit like that. But Trail of Lies, it's like they have this weird positivity hardcore, and that's why I guess like I kind of laughed because it's just like it, I don't know, it just seems so like goofy to me. Like for instance, the second track is called Stand Hard. Like, and I mean, it's not like positive, but it's just, I think you get it, And then the
So
track after that, Only the Strong, Unbroken. Like, come on. I
so
don't know.
kind of like some of Hatebreed's moments when they had those cringy moments, but it's a whole
Yeah,
band.
yeah, whole band, whole album. Sorry for any Trail of Lies fans out there, but I don't know. I got a lot of cheese from these guys.
That's it for new music. I do have some notes. Oh, something I did want to bring up. I wouldn't normally make a correction like this, but I feel like I need to. Last week I said something about
The
a guy's
Blacks.
shirt, some someone's shirt. I said that it was a certain band. It was not. I said it was the band Satanic War Master. It's not. It's blasphemy. Normally, I wouldn't care about
Ooh.
that. However, um, I realized the reason they're different is because one is like blasphemy is an actual like war metal band, supposed to like the abrasive parts of black metal all rolled up into one band. The other one is a Nazi band. So do not check out Satanic War Master. Check out Blasphemy. They're cool. Do not check out Satanic War Master.
Oh
We do
man, that's
not support them
hilarious.
here.
Oh, you fucking Nazi.
Yeah, don't check out that don't check out that
Oh,
incel metal.
that's hilarious.
But anyways, on to
Yeah, you know
positive
what?
news. What's up?
I felt like I felt like I thought of some disclaimers, but typical me. I never took notes, never got the notebook, so I totally forgot them.
I only did it today because, like I said, I had time. It's just me at the
Yeah.
house today. So, um, some new albums that got announced recently.
Ooh.
So up
Fit
first
for
we
an
have.
autopsy. I guess we can.
Oh, did they already announce a new album?
Uh, yeah, the Great Nothing or something.
Okay,
Super
I didn't
common
write that
like
one
that.
down.
Hang on, let me. No, it's. I don't think it's called that, but it's something like that. Nothing's in the title. Um, yeah, the nothing that is.
Out October
Like,
25th.
what is that supposed to mean? What is the nothing that is? We're all nothing?
Is that
Everything's
like the
nothing?
Void?
I guess. It looks like the void. I mean, yeah, I guess so.
Is that
The
like supposed to
cover's
be a
got a
black
hole.
hole?
Yeah. The vinyl does look pretty sweet. The purple vinyl variant.
Hmm.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess I was not aware. Although I guess it makes sense since they just came out with a new song. Um, and that we also have the new. I sent you this band's song today. The new album was announced for the band Undeath. They just
Oh
actually
yeah.
released a song. Is it Brandish the Blade?
Brandish yeah, Brandish the blade. Yeah, you're right.
And I think you. What did you say about it today? About the album cover or the cover?
I said nice. What a ridiculous cover.
So,
It
in
is super ridiculous.
in spirit of that, the name of the new album is going to be called More Insane. So, makes sense for
Hmm,
the cover. That comes out October
sure.
4th. Um,
That is hilarious.
that's something I would want to check out. I wasn't too into their last album, but I went back to their first album, and I understand now why they have the hype. That first album's pretty good.
Okay,
Um,
I'll have to because I was wondering. I listened to this song But honestly, I wasn't like really drawn to it at all. Like it was more kind of push away than anything. I didn't realize how metalcore-ish they are.
Mm, I would say that would probably just be this song. This song was a little different. If you want more of their,
Okay.
what I would say is their core sound, what kind of got them big would be, I think the name of the album is Legions of a Different Kind. That one was pretty good. I didn't care too much for Now It's Time to Rise from the Grave. That was meh. It was about the same style as the first one, but it wasn't memorable. It just felt like, what's special about this album, kind of thing. So,
Okay.
up next we also have a new album release coming from. There's the debut album of the supergroup Better Lovers. Debut album called Highly Irresponsible comes out October 25th. This is the supergroup with the ex members of Every Time I Die, the old lead singer
Hmm.
of Dillinger Escape Plan, and then
Oh
Will
wow.
Putney from Fit for an Autopsy.
Huh.
So this will be exciting.
Cool.
I love Every
Yeah.
Time I Die and Dillinger, so this will be good. Um, then we have new chat pile.
Hmm.
Cool World comes out
Oh,
October 11th.
nice. Oh yeah.
So if you like weird sludgy metal, check out Chat Piles. Cool World. All right. That's it for that part. And then also, this was a suggestion. Do you remember Rodrigo? He went with us to the DSI concert.
Oh yeah. I remember that dude.
He
Cool
called me
guy.
the other day. He called me the other day when we were talking about it, and he was wanting to take his daughter to a concert like one of these, but he doesn't know what would be appropriate. So I was thinking, with your help, because you've probably been to some of these venues and can kind of shake it out. If we, when
Morgoroth.
it, well, no, my thinking was,
Uh,
I'll bring up all the ones we talked about for their dates, and we kind of figure out based off the bands and then also the venue of what age we would recommend people to kind of go if they want to take a kid. So I have up next we have Lauren Shore with Whitechapel, Kublai Khan, and Sanguine Sugar Bog coming to St. Louis September 26th, Oklahoma City September 29th, and Kansas City September 30th.
hmm.
Didn't look like they had announced venues yet, but I'm going to assume probably the pageant.
Hmm.
And probably, I can assume probably Midland
Yeah.
because I think Lawrence Shore's that big, they could probably pack those ones in.
Wow, it's coming up that soon. They haven't announced a venue? Usually they have a venue by now.
They might. It's just based off the tour announcement poster wasn't on there. Maybe the actual sites have
Oh.
it, but
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah,
um,
that would be a good tour, I think.
yeah. John actually asked me about it. He's wanting to go to it, so I'm thinking I'll probably get tickets soon for that. At least the St. Louis
That would
one.
be cool. Yeah,
Hmm.
that would be cool. What date's the St. Louis one?
St. Louis is September 26th.
Oh, it's a Thursday night. Ooh, yeah, that sounds nice.
Yeah, we
That'd
could
be
do
pretty sweet.
Thursday, or we can do uh, what's the 30th?
30th looks like a Monday. Ugh.
Oh yeah, we're doing Thursday one, not the.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, what would
Fuck.
you say? What age would you say you would be comfortable taking a kid to see these bands at the pageant?
Um, hmm.
So I feel like
At
the
the
pageant,
pageant,
it's
these
big,
bands
it's
sing
open.
with Sugar Bug. I mean, what's the kid listening to? Is the kid totally open to this shit?
But
Are they
my thinking
like
is,
listening to screaming stuff?
well, I think if you want to take them, they probably would be. My thinking is, what would you feel safe taking the kid to, and then
Hmm.
also, what would you be fine with them being exposed to? So my thinking is like, for example, my daughter Annie, she loves Lauren Shore. I've taken her to a Lauren Shore show, no problem, because I feel like the issues with them that would be problematic, she wouldn't understand like the suicidal stuff they talk about. She's not really understanding, so I don't feel too worried about that. I wouldn't want to take her to like a Gorgoroth show or anything like that. So, but
Yeah. Like I would avoid I I would be more hesitant to like smaller venue type shows. Prime example, like the Deicide show we
Hmm.
went to, Internal Bleeding. Not that any of that was like inappropriate by any means, like as far as like parental guidance goes, but the fact that those venues get so confined and like you get so tight with people
Hmm.
shoulder to shoulder, and then the mosh crowd can just get out of hand in a matter of seconds, and
Hmm.
people can just be going nuts. So it's like I would probably stray from that before I'm going to stray from like an arena type show which is I feel like, the pageant like in St.
Hmm.
Louis. Like I honestly think that if the kid is already listening to this sort of stuff, absolutely bring them out to it, dude. I think that's the perfect place too. You
Yeah.
can gauge your distance, whether if they want to be down on the floor, you can maybe try out the floor for the first band or something. And then if they don't want to be that close, if it gets too active, you can always back up, hang out, like especially the pageant, they got that like kind of bar area. Not that
Hmm.
you want to be hanging out with a kid at a bar, but I mean, it's like, I think they have seats with like tables and shit up there. And
Yeah.
I think I don't know if those are private areas, but I know that I'm just saying that because I remember hanging out kind of up there, just chilling like by a pillar or something, having a beer whenever I saw High on Fire there. So it's like,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, are you there?
I would say,
You
yeah.
froze.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say.
The screen's frozen. It's just like your deadpan face. It's like this. It's so funny. Sorry.
So for this show, I would say probably say, like you said, I would say probably all ages. Whatever, if the kids already listen to it, this show would probably be the perfect one to take them to, especially at the pageant. So I feel like the pageant
Yeah.
and the Granada kind of the same setup to where they have the pit, which is where everything that might be dangerous is going to be happening at. Then they have like 3 steps up into like an elevated platform to where if you are bringing your kids and you don't want them in the mosh pit, it's a perfect place. They can still see a great show. Um,
Yeah.
but obviously, like you said, there's certain venues we'll get to. You don't want to take kids, no matter how. I would say 18 or older, 16 or old for these ones. But this one, North Shore, I would say all ages.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
Up next is the Slaughter to Prevail with Marilyn Manson and Five Finger Death Punch. Anyways, so up next is Slaughter to Prevail with Marilyn Manson, Five Finger Death Punch. Um, if you're interested in
Mm.
going, John was saying he wanted to see Slaughter to Prevail. Because I wouldn't mind going to this one just to see them. Marilyn Manson
I
wouldn't be
think
too bad.
I mocked this show like 3 episodes ago.
It's a
But
weird, it's such a weird lineup. It doesn't make sense.
it definitely is, but I will say I have not seen Slaughter to Prevail, and I really do want to see them. But I also play poker with a guy that has seen them and said that his Vokes is top notch live. And so I'm just like, damn, dude. I mean, that would be really cool to hear that live. And
So
he does have gnarly fucking vocals.
it would be cool to hear his vocals. However, especially with like his old stuff, like Misery Sermon and all that, yeah, I feel like it'd be really hard to sing along or know what he's saying. Like I understand we listen to death metal and stuff, but it's it's hard when it's a completely different language to where I can't even figure out what he's actually talking about.
Oh yeah. Well, it's just it's a totally different language. And even like I think it's Chronic Slaughter. That's still my favorite album. That whole was it Misery Sermon?
I
Or
think
what was that
so.
album called?
I think it's Misery Sermon, or is it just Misery?
I don't know. Something like that. Or that might be a song. I don't know. I can't remember. Might be Misery. Um yeah, maybe. Or no, is Misery Sermon Acacia Strain? Don't they have a song called that?
Ooh, yeah, I think the Whitechapel song with
Or
Acacia
yeah, it's
Strain.
a Whitechapel song with Acacia Strain. That's right. Misery Sermon. Crazy. But anyways, yeah, I mocked that show, but I gotta say I you catch me on a crazy day, I might go. What day is it? What day are they coming?
There's a St. Louis date, August 10th, and there's
Mm,
a Rogers,
can't go.
Arkansas, August 13th.
Mm, August 10th is a no-go for me. I think that's a date day planned for me and the
That's what a
I mean,
Saturday.
yeah, it's a Saturday. It would be
Okay,
a
so
prime day, but Yeah.
So the 13th would be a Tuesday.
Yep, ain't making that one.
For any of the people who are wanting to go, I know the Rogers, Arkansas is at the Walmart amphitheater, so I'd assume.
Walmart has an amphitheater?
Yeah, that's where the last concert I went to was at.
Oh, that's crazy. Could you
Yeah,
imagine telling people you're playing at the Walmart amphitheater?
I thought it was really weird that a bunch of punk bands are thanking Walmart for letting them play.
Yeah,
It
that's
should be everything
crazy.
you guys are against, but whatever.
Yeah. Shout out to Walmart. One love.
Thank for low prices, making sure your workers can't unionize, and all the sweatshops you got over there.
Yeah. Hey, they let the metal dude go to the metal show. Remember that? The
What?
fuck. Come on, what band was it? Aborted was the second band, but there was a band before Aborted where
Oh,
a
I think I
guy
know
in
what
a
you're talking
in a
about.
Walmart vest had a band shirt on. It was a metal band
Die Hard
shirt.
is Murder.
Maybe that was it. Yeah, I think
So
so.
I think that would be cool. However, I've worked at Walmart, and I guarantee they don't do paid days off. So they probably just like, all right, you're not on the schedule that day. Go to the
Yeah.
concert.
All right, yeah, you can have the day off.
You're welcome.
Yeah. And then but yeah, they blasted it online like, wow, shout out to Walmart for letting this guy come to the show. Like, come on. I highly doubt Walmart put money into that. But that
They
would be
don't.
cool if they're like, yeah, we're fucking paying you. You're going to that.
No, you
Dart
don't
as
get.
Murder just blew up our sales tenfold in one day.
They don't do paid days off. All it is, you
Yeah.
request like, hey, on the next schedule, please don't put me on this day, or you can call in
Yeah.
sick, and that's it. And then you just don't get
Yeah.
paid that day.
Yeah.
That's why
That's
it blew
funny.
my mind when I worked at the prison, and they're like, all right, you get these days off. Like, okay, but what if I want to get paid? Like, you get paid on those days. I
Well,
get
you
paid
always get
leave.
yeah. Yeah, dude. Calling sick for a headache, you get paid. Calling sick because you're too tired, you get paid. I remember I took a call in one night in control center, and this kid called in working midnight shift. And was like, I'll go correctional center. This is Officer Olson speaking. How may I help you? Yeah, this is Officer blah blah blah. I'm gonna be calling in. Okay. And are you calling in sick or yeah, I'm just too tired. I was like on the other end, like, okay, like you want me to write down you're too fucking tired to come to work? Like, is that a legitimate excuse? It's like, holy shit, dude. I I couldn't believe it. I was dumbfounded. Like,
I wouldn't
wow.
laugh at them, but I've done worse when I worked at a factory. I was like 18. I once called in because I had diarrhea.
Oh, yeah, shit. Well, I used that excuse. I didn't actually have it, but like Lex was with me one time. I literally called up there. I was just like, yep, hey, it's Officer Olson. I have explosive diarrhea. It was it was Schneider. I don't know if you remember that dude or not.
Yeah,
He was like a good old boy with a thick mustache, kind of skinnier. Took his job really seriously. Really cool guy, nice guy, but um I called in one day. I was like, "Yep, I'm gonna be calling in for explosive diarrhea." He's like, "Okay." It's like, yeah, sorry, man. Uh, Good
yeah.
old days.
Good old Elgo days. Yeah, Slaughter to Prevail. I would say just like with the pageant, because I feel like this St. Louis one's probably also the pageant. If the other one's at Walmart Amphitheater, I would say probably all ages.
Yeah, probably. I assume. I'm sure it is.
Yeah. Up next, we're gonna get more into like, all right, what age should this be? Up next is Nails at St. Louis, September 15th, with 200 stab wounds and Mammoth Grinder, I want to say. And this is at
Hmm.
Off Broadway in St. Louis. I've never been to this venue, but I'm gonna assume it's small.
Sounds like a dive bar. I'm in.
Yeah, I would
Hell yeah.
say um, 18 years and up, 16 if you want to be cautious, and that's guessing of how big this venue
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. They say like, I don't know. almost every show at Rose is all ages, and that place is small too. But I definitely wouldn't have taken a kid to Casey Strain or even Every Time I Die just because of how fucking chaos it got.
Because especially in those venues, it feels like if there's a mosh pit, everyone's in the mosh pit. You can't hide from
Yeah.
it.
I remember like looking at the staff at Every Time I Die, and they like look so stressed out and pissed off because like the mosh got all the way to the bar. Like it was wall to wall just mosh. And they're just like behind the bar, just like, oh fuck, man. Like this is uncontrollable. This is chaos. And then like as soon as the final band's done, they're just like, all right, get the fuck out. It's like, damn. It's like 11 o'clock, dude. We can't have a drink. Get the fuck out. I was like, all right, jeez. No, it was probably like get out. I doubt they used the F bomb, but they might have. It was probably get the F out, by the time it was like end of the night, doors closed.
So, what would you think for ages on this one? Would you be?
Um,
What's the
the
youngest you'd be
nails.
comfortable? Yeah.
Mm, I mean, I'd say probably, 5, 6. No, I don't know, man. Yeah, I probably wouldn't bring a young kid to a nail show at a small dive bar. But I mean, it just, it's going to vary. It's going to vary by parent, by kid. Depends on how extreme they want to get. Nails, I mean, shit, you're talking like some extreme metal there. That's some fucking heavy thrashing shit.
I also think it's hard to tell. I've never been to a nail show, so I don't know how their crowds are. Like I know they're
Yeah.
crazy, but sometimes how heavy the band is it really easy to tell how the crowd is. Like remember Defeated Sanity, like super heavy, but I feel like there was only like 5 or 6 of us actually moshing to it.
Yeah, we were some of the few. Like there
hmm
wasn't a lot of people moshing to Defeated Sanity, but they fucking brought it live.
hmm And with nails, I feel like I could see it being that way because I feel like they're kind of more the older or more like the underground people who might think they're too cool to mosh or stuff like that. But at the same time, this is it's been forever since Nails has played a show here, so it might get some pretty crazy people. I don't know how it's going to be.
I mean, judging by just their sound, dude, like, yeah, you're getting a mosh pit in there. Especially like if they're headlining, like, oh, dude, anyone that goes there is probably more likely going there for the Nails performance, I would say. I mean, it's going to be a big factor of it, obviously, but yeah, it's like if I go to that show, I'm not going to that not moshing. It's fucking Nails, dude. Like they're a band that you listen to, they give you energy just hearing the
hmm
music. You know what I mean? They really
Yeah.
do. And so, um, yeah, that one's probably going to get pretty chaotic, I'd say. It'd be funny we go there and a fucking bar fight just breaks out, fucking breaking bottles. Yeah.
They're
But
just doing
that's
sound
what they
checks.
yeah, that's what they yeah, before the night even kicks off. Uh, yeah, I mean, there's also going to be a factor of like the environment that you're not going to have any sort of control over either. There's obviously going to be doobies that are brought to shows, probably all of the above of what we just mentioned. So, that's going to be a factor. Um, a fight or two is probably going to break out at
hmm
probably the bigger shows over the smaller shows, maybe.
Yeah.
I will say that. The bigger the show is, like if you got like a lawn section, I feel like the fights usually kick out in the lawn section before
hmm
like the opening band. It's the guys that got there right when the doors opened, been hanging at the bar all day.
Yeah, and I think the big shows is when you have the mix of crowds of you have the crazy people who want to have fun, then you have the people like at the concert I went to is like they better not mosh. I'm not here to mosh. I'm just here to watch. And then they're gonna
Yeah,
butt heads, and then it could be a fight. And then there's
right.
always that one
Yeah.
guy who stands in the mosh pit but doesn't want to mosh and is just like, stop it.
Just denying like everyone that touches it, or like just walks out there in the middle of the mosh pit purposefully, just ready to fuck someone up. That comes up and like, you better not fucking push me. I will fuck you up.
I came here to watch a show, not have fun.
Oh man, yeah. So yeah, I mean, there's an environmental factor that's going to go into it, but I don't know, man. If your kid's listening to metal shit, you got a bunch of them you could take them to. I think they'd have a good time.
This one I feel like is going to be hard to tell because it's older bands, but it's a small venue. Nile with 6 Feet Under, Psychroptic, and Embryonic Autopsy at the Red Flag at St. Louis.
That's gonna
I've
be a
never been to
cool.
Red Flag. Is that going to be? Is that like the size of Foo Bar?
I think it's like Fubar, but bigger and better. I mean,
Okay.
to my understanding, it's like an upgraded version, but I haven't even been there either. Um, Old band dudes in Soul Terminus. Oh shit, we skipped them on the weekly playlist. New releases.
All right, I can put
Actually,
them
they came
on
out.
Fridays.
Yeah, sure. We can talk about them next week. It came out a couple weeks back. Homewrecker EP. Yeah, we'll throw it on next week. But they're local. I mean, we're not going to shout out every local band, but these are the homies, so I gotta shout out them. It's Chaz on guitar, Dan on bass, Luke Caulfield doing guitars and vocals, and then Coley Meyer on drums. All
Nice.
phenomenal musicians. Killer music. So yeah, we'll throw it on next week.
All right. Um, for now, I want to say we could probably do 13. I think 13 would be a good age
Oh yeah, sure. I'd say
because I feel
for
like,
that one,
especially
for the tech show, sounds pretty techy heavy. Or wait, what are you talking about? Any metal show?
Nile
Oh yeah, Nile. Yeah,
at Red
I just
Flag.
said tech because I thought of Psychroptic. They're the
Oh, they
obvious
are
tech
on
band
it.
on that bill.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they are on it. But I think since it is all older bands. Like I think Embryonic Autopsy is newer, but it's like they seem like they're older and been from other bands. So I feel like it's going to be an older crowd. There probably will be moshing, but it's not going to be as intense. It's not going to be Nails level.
mm-hmm.
I feel like even the last
Yeah,
time we saw Nile, there was moshing, but it wasn't like it was every time I die levels of craziness. It was just like, man, this is what you
yeah,
expect.
yeah. It was kind of like the playful bouncing back and forth, and like
Hmm.
just the typical like shoulder like arm bounce off when you
Yeah,
get to the walls of it. It
and it's
wasn't
gonna
like the
be
fucking fist throwing kind of shit,
yeah, and it's gonna be pretty much in the designated where mosh pit starts, like near the front center kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I feel like 13 ages and up, you could probably take them to this Nile show. Gate Creeper with who are they with? Frozen Soul and Worm.
Frozen Soul and Worm.
Hmm.
I still haven't
Yeah,
checked out Worm, but I saw their Spotify plays and they seem like they got a lot of listens. So
they're pretty good. They're kind of in the vein of the other bands, just a little bit more doomy. They have 3 different shows. They have one in St. Louis, October 5th, one in Lawrence, October 9th, and then Oklahoma City, October 10th. St. Louis, I want to say, I think Delmar Hall. I've never been to that one. And then Lawrence is at the Bottleneck. I want to say these are all super small venues, but I'm not sure.
smaller sounds like maybe. I don't know. See, I'm again on the Delmar Hall thing. Sounds like it's gonna be bigger, but I don't know. I don't think I've been there. So
I'm not sure. But with these bands, I know they're newer and they are death metal. However, I feel like it could be about mid-level, like not super crazy, but you could probably take a kid to. Because I want to say Frozen Soul is the one that's getting some viral videos of people playing Magic the Gathering in their mosh
oh
pits.
yeah, I seen that. I was wondering what band that was. I
Hmm.
was like, no way, they got a straight up full magic tourney. And it even
Hmm.
looked like they had bouncers like guard like there's a couple guys like acting bouncer like at this Magic the Gathering game. It's like, what the hell, dude? That's crazy.
There's no way they were actually playing a legit game because then you had to actually like read the cards. How are you going to read it in that darker room? You can't explain what the card does.
And you're gonna put your fucking nice cards on a beer spilt shitty fucking dirty ass floor? Like, I
Yeah.
mean, the video that I saw, I'm pretty sure it was still daylight when the game was being played. So I
Uh,
don't know.
well,
But I
even
don't,
even then, how are you going to communicate what the card does to the other
yeah,
person in that loud, you can't hear each other thing?
yeah. And also, how are you going to play Magic the Gathering at that show but not summoning the liches?
That
Because
wouldn't
that's
make
like
sense.
that was for their whole like early merch drop, whenever we were checking them out locally and shit. They even got like their own card and stuff, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they're still doing that. That'd
I
be
don't know.
badass.
I think I still have, because I remember when I think it was when you guys played with them, they just gave me one of the cards. I think I still have it. Because I
Yeah.
want to see, I saw some people are talking about, then they first started doing it, they came out with actual full packs.
Oh, really?
So that'd be cool. Hopefully they would do that again.
That would be cool. I mean, they gotta have some serious like connections, I think, to do a full pack, but I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so I think so that's it for the shows that we've talked about so far. Whenever we announce a show, we'll give you an age range for those who are wondering, but that's it for now. We're gonna not do that every time where we go over all these shows we've already talked about. Well, we talked
Yeah.
about Frozen Soul. Well, let's talk them again. We have another show to announce. But
Yeah.
yeah, we can start doing that. I feel like that kind of hit both fatherhood and death metal. Is there anything else you want to talk about fatherhood and death metal?
Fatherhood, let's see. My kids have just been getting real crazy energy lately. You got any, what's your craziest kid? You got a wild one in the
Jensen.
bunch?
Jensen
Yeah.
is the wild one. He gets bloody noses all the time, to
Oh
where
my
he
gosh. From impacts or just like
mix
dry?
of both. Mix of both, really.
Damn.
They started Vacation Bible School recently, and I had to go there because he ran into some kid, got a bloody nose again. But I just went in there and was
Damn.
like, "Hey, buddy." He's like, "Hi, Daddy. Are you okay?" Yeah. Yeah. I was like, "Okay. Well, here's the thing, buddy. I was already outside. He, it's about 30 more minutes. I'm not going to take you home. You can wait in the car with me for the next 30 minutes. Otherwise, if you want to go home, I have to take Sissy home, and it's just 30 minutes. So
Yeah.
do you want to come and wait in the car with me for 30 minutes, or do you want to stay here? I'll stay here." And then he just runs off and smiling, giggling. It's like, okay, that's this crazy wild kid.
That's
He
funny.
will he will be sad for a little bit, but I think he does it more for attention.
Yeah.
He's I saw a video the other day, and it's him to a T, to where the father's like walking behind this little boy, the mother's in front of the little boy, and the little boy's like arguing with the dad. So he like turns around, looks at the dad, and then like forcefully hits his head on the wall, and then cries to his mom.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's
That's
awesome.
Jensen.
So he's got like nosebleeds happening at church. I wonder if they think he's like the omen or something.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. Just throwing holy water on him.
Uh,
Who would you say your crazy one is? Is it
that's
your
awesome.
second one, Stella?
Shit, I don't know, man. It's a toss up between both of them right now. Stella's like her energy's more crazy. Like she'll just run around and then come up to you and be like, just like high pitch, super like the highest pitch I've ever heard. It's like a crazy frequency. I'm like, holy shit! Like she's gonna shatter glass someday. But I don't know, man. Even Lux is like her energy is like really wild too. She's like kind of more sly though. Like she's likes to venture into doing what she's told not to do. And I'm just like, geez, so that's a challenge. Very defiant age, or phase, real defiant phase right now, I'll say. So just getting into that. And then Stella, she's not even speaking full sentences, but she's picking up on what her older sister is doing. And so she's already developing a no and a slight little cute talk back, like, all right, you want to go take a bath? No. Like, okay, you can't speak full sentences yet. Let's go take a bath. And it's like, yeah, I'm not gonna be taking that from like two kids at the same time. It's like shit. It's hard, man. You just gotta lay down the law. But yeah, I don't know. Wild bunch right now in my house. So I don't know. That's about it, fatherhood wise.
I gotcha. So, in your guys' family, do you guys do, like, I'm assuming, fun parent, grumpy parent, or not necessarily grumpy, but um,
Yeah, I'm the grumpy
the
one.
enforcer?
Yeah,
You're the
I'm
grumpy
the
one.
I'm the I'm the enforcer. I'm the asshole. I'm the one that does the big timeout enforcements, and it gets exhausting. It really does. Like, especially if you come home from a day of work, laborers work at that, and so you're already tired. But I'm just trying to, keep my shit together, really, I feel like. But it's and then you get home and you're just instantly being told no. Run around, okay, well, I'll let that one go. And then you're just like, all right, well, let's do this. And then it's like, okay, they kind of do that. And then the no comes later. It's like, fuck. It gets troublesome. But it is what it is, man. It's a learning curve, just a giant fucking learning curve.
Yeah. Yeah, for us, we kind of go back and forth because it's really just about me and Danny have different peeves of what
Yeah.
gets under our skin with the kids. Um, for me, it's I was raised in a very, we've talked about it, I had very strict households where I can watch and listen to certain things. And one thing that my dad was all about was absolutely no sarcasm toward your parents and absolutely no backtalk, to where I still to this day have issues of
Wow.
especially with authority people. It's like I have a little hard time with those sometimes, but yeah, when my kids do it to Danny is when I lose it a little bit.
Yeah.
Danny's things are having to repeat herself all the time, which
Yeah.
it gets under my skin too. But
Absolutely.
she'll be vocal about it, and also Jensen is in the stage of rolling his eyes.
Oh.
I don't think he's doing it to like be sarcastic. I think he's seen enough cartoons where he thinks he's trying to be funny. But as soon as he does it, she just like
Instant ticker.
just like get away from me right now. So
That's hilarious.
it's just dependent on the situation, and also I think it
Well, and
is also dependent on the kid.
exactly. Well, I think there's even another aspect where it's like your kids learn who you are. It's like so good, so quick, I feel like. And
Mm-hmm.
a part of that, like they learn how to piss you off
Mm-hmm.
and they know when they're doing it, you know? And it's like more than anyone else, more than my bosses, more than my coworkers, like my kids can literally make me pissed off more than anyone, like because they just know how to do it. And it's as simple as ignoring what I'm saying, not listening, or just the simple little, she tries to play like a cute little defiant thing, but it's not at all. Like I'll take a couple of them, but then it just keeps happening. I'm like, okay, all right, yeah, and then you just have to like go like physically pick her up and like isolate her in a location, and then that just totally like flips her switch, and then she's like, yeah, like throwing her body on the floor and shit. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
I told you. Why are you in timeout? I try to do this like educational, like, okay, Lux, if you don't do this, then I'm going to pick you up and put you in timeout in 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. And then by 3, and once I'm walking towards her, no, no, no.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go pick her up, and then she's, screaming and kicking, no, 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 no. And then so like it just I hate it because these moments happen in public too. They happen more frequently at home, obviously, but when it happens in public, it's just shitty because then it's just like everyone's looking at you. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, are they thinking that I'm kidnapping this child? Because it is actually my child. She's just screaming like she's being kidnapped, but I promise she's not. It's like that's what's going through my head. It's just like, oh my God, Lux, please just be easy with me. I don't know. It's a freaking challenge. But yeah.
Yeah, I've had a few moments like those too. And my boy's biggest worry is like I always want to turn. I was like, I swear I don't beat them when we get home. They just act like this.
Yeah, I know. Because like they'll do this like death like scream, and it's just like it sounds like the worst scream ever. I'm like, oh my God, like I'm not hurting you. Like I literally picked you up and I'm moving you to a new location, and you were screaming like you were being hurt. Like, stop, come on. Like, ugh. Yeah.
One thing that always gets under my skin, and I know they're just being sweet. Like I used to go to Hy-Vee back when I lived in Jeff City. It was just the closest grocery store, and it would never fail if I would give Danny time by herself, so I'd take the kids, and that's when they would just like act up the most, and I would just be arguing with them, just going back and like stop, stop, and then we get inside, and I'm pissed off. They're still doing stuff. Then they just like are quiet, and then some stranger comes like, "Oh, your kids are so sweet. You must be so lucky." Fuck off. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
You don't understand what they do.
Yeah. Would you like to take them? Yeah, it's
Or
like, holy
or
shit,
they
man.
keep up their shit in the store and I'm getting mad and some
My
old lady's
cat's
just like,
fucking trying to
nope.
break in. Sorry, she was going crazy on my door.
Yeah, even when they continue to act up in the store and I'm getting on to them trying to get them to stop. And so they whine, maybe even cry, and some old lady is just like, I know it might not be fun right now, but it's just so sweet. Just like
Yeah.
fuck up, fuck off. Fuck off.
Yeah. You just picture yourself just like,
Do you want to handle these kids? Do you want to do this?
yeah, seriously. Oh man. Yeah, they are cute when they are not in those moments, but I'd say they're cute moments and they're pissy moments. It's like a solid 50-50,
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah, I do miss them. Can't wait to see them tomorrow. As
Oh, I
much as
bet.
I
How
can,
long they been gone now?
since Friday. Like
Okay.
Theo started sitting up as soon as he went down
Oh,
there. I
wow.
missed him sitting up, so I'll
That's
finally get to see
crazy.
him sitting up. Annie got stung by a jellyfish while she was down there.
Oh shit.
She's fine
Did
now.
it hurt her pretty? Okay.
She peed on it, so
Really?
they told her it's like you know the best way to get rid of the pain is to pee on it. Okay, so she immediately just like without hesitation
Oh,
just like pees on it.
it's
Oh,
like,
that
all
does
right,
feel
then
better.
go ahead.
And so
Wow.
literally every time, I guess they stay at the beach, and I guess the rest of the time, whenever she had to go pee, she would just go and pee on this thing again, just over and over again.
Oh my gosh.
It's like, no, you don't only do it one time. Now you're just walking around smelling like pee.
Oh, that's hilarious. So is that like a real thing? Like you piss on it and
I
it
guess so,
helps it,
but
or
from what I understand is you don't want to do it too. So it's sterile when it comes out, but it can get infected pretty easily because pee can grow bacteria pretty quickly.
bacteria?
She did shower afterwards, but if you're out there and you get
That's
stung by a
hilarious.
jellyfish, you can pee on it to get rid of the pain, but immediately go wash it off.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Huh. Good to know.
Yeah. That was, I feel like I was like all day is like, I need to send Olson things. Like, no, I'll come up with it and I'll just bring it up to him. But then I forgot, I probably should have wrote down my own things to talk about today, besides these little notes.
Yeah.
I had topics all day since I've been in cars most of the time. Oh, I did have something, but I don't know if it would actually be something on a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking of this listening to a song you
Favorite
told me
sex
about.
positions?
No, that's fine. We can talk
Oh.
about that anytime. Um, no, this is when you told me about what the song meant, I listened to it over and over again. I still listen to this day. Truest Love by Kublai Khan.
Oh yeah, dude.
So with the you're a good dad. I try to be a good dad. We know some pretty good dads. I think you know where I'm trying to go down with this. How do you deal
Yeah.
with a friend if you have a friend who or someone you know who is not being almost like a
Shitty
deadbeat dad? How do
parent?
you handle that? How do you handle
Oh,
I don't know if we've
that's
had
a
I don't know
great
if you've had to handle it, but
yeah, no, it's a great topic to bring up. And it's like it's not really as much on the friend aspect. I don't think I can think of one close person to me that I know is a shitty parent by any means. Um, I mean, at least anyone that I keep in a close circle, like everyone is like a really great dad all around, man. I mean, Bowen, Collins, it's like they've all, like I said, they've grown up to become fathers, and it's like Bowen, he stepped into a dad role, like took two kids under
Mhm.
his wing and then had one. And so it's like, yeah, that's a new realm of dadhood that like I never even went into. So it's like, it's got to be a different kind of thing for him even. But it's like, yeah, man, I don't know a lot of shitty parents specifically, but I did have an experience in the last week at work just doing my maintenance job. And so I'm sitting there one day and I'm tackling like this giant overgrown mulch bed and just trimming out dead limbs and shit from these bushes and stuff. And this is at that condominium complex. And so I'm just kind of minding my own business, but I have like one earbud in listening to some music and one earbud out. And I always just kind of dangle one in case like someone's like, hey, how's it going? So I can like hear them. Because there's like so many times it happens there where like I won't hear someone and the next thing I know they're like a foot behind me, like and just smiling. I'm like, oh shit, sorry, and like take my headphones out. And they're like, yeah, I saw your headphones were in. I'm like, oh my bad, that whole deal. But anyways, so I have one headphone out, and so I'm just minding my own business, trimming the shit, and then I see this mother and this boy. They pull into this vehicle pulls into the parking lot. Mother and the boy gets out, and this mother like goes into this unit and leaves this boy to the parking lot. Well, he picks something up. He's kind of fiddling something. I'm not like watching him, so it's like I'm just kind of doing my own thing. But then the mother comes out and she goes to talk to the boy, and as soon as she approaches the boy, what the fuck is this? What the fuck did you do that for? And it's just like fuck every other sentence and just cursing the shit out of this kid, man. And he was a tiny boy, and I don't know if you fucking like scratched your door or something like that. Like, yeah, I would be pissed too. But it's like you don't do that to your kid, man. You
Mm.
just don't. There's such an important factor of monkey see, monkey do in parenthood. Like it's undeniable. Like they literally will just subconsciously watch you and do what you do, like they become essentially who you are, I think, to a certain degree. Like I said, they are also their own person, but they're going to pick up on these things. And so it's like, for one, you're fucking it up because he's going to end up doing that to his kid someday. He's going to be abusing his kid because that's how you taught him. You're talking down to him, you're talking at him, you're cursing at him. Like it's not beneficial in any way. If you want to teach him a lesson, you ask him, why did he do that, and try to keep it calm, if you can. But it's just like he's not going to take anything away from that, but just like, geez, wow, she's a fucking bitch. It's like, I mean, I don't know. And like, it was so hard for me to mind my own business from that point. Once I heard her start screaming, it's like, okay, my whole attention's on you now. Like, yeah, I'm going to keep doing my job, but I'm obviously going to keep staring at you because you're cursing in a fucking parking lot in public. It's like, good grief, anyone could hear you. And so, I don't know, man. It hits me so different after having kids. It's like I feel like before kids, I probably wouldn't have paid attention to that stuff. Like let the parents do what the parents do. But it's like, no, you got to, and that wasn't even. There's two occurrences. We also went to eat at Steak and Shake, not a common thing, but we were just out shopping, wanted something cheap. Went in, dined in, and literally a table away, there's this family of four. Mom's fucking glued to her phone the whole time, just scrolling, and the dad doesn't say shit. The two kids are like, I don't know, age gap 5 to 8, and the mom like hardly peeps in anything. And then at the end of their dinner, like I didn't just study them and document them the whole time. I'm just uh, that's not what I'm doing out in public. I'm just naturally a people watcher just because of our work history. Like we said, we
Mhm.
both worked in a facility together anyways. And so she just doesn't say anything this whole dinner, but towards the end of it, just gets off her phone. Oh, shut the fuck up. Like, come on, get the fuck up. And like when they're leaving or something, just the cursing at, the talking down to, the belittling.
Mhm.
It's like, dude, it's just so damn unhealthy, man.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just like, it's not the kid's fault. Okay. If that kid in that parking lot did scratch your door, if he picked a rock up and like drew on your car with it, yeah, that sucks. But okay, he probably just wanted to see what it would do. and maybe he didn't know what it would do, so he wanted to find out. It's like it's an interest. They're trying to figure shit out, man. It's not that they're trying to fuck stuff up. Like they're learning,
Mm-hmm.
every single day. And it's little stuff like that that will mold that person into who they are later on, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, man. It's
Yeah.
tough. It's tough watching it when you care so much about yours, I feel like,
Yeah.
personally.
And that makes me think. I haven't really applied it. I've tried to every now and then, but apply it. Something my dad said is, you allow a kid to do whatever at least once, because if you have never told them they can't do it, how can you get mad at them, kind of thing.
Sure. Yeah.
Once they
That's a
do it
good.
after, if you've told them and they do it again, then you can get mad at them, or at least get on to them or discipline them. But before that, you just explain to them why they shouldn't do that. I try to do that. I've been getting worse as I get older, so my patience has been getting less and less. But I never tried to just sit there and berate. I always tried to explain why what they're doing is getting under my skin, or why they shouldn't do something. Um,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One thing I was wanting to bring up is, because like I said, I don't think we've had anyone in our actual circle who has done this. But I was thinking of, like, obviously we're present fathers, but there's obviously a huge occurrence of non-present fathers, of who just like don't want to be around their kids, or just kind of even just leave the mom in general and just don't abandon the kids and stuff like that. Um, Obviously, we haven't dealt with that. Um, One thing that comes to mind, I don't know the person personally. I know the female. I'm not going to name names, or it's work related, not in my office, but I know of the person through work. It's where they weren't married. They had a kid together, but then after so many years, found out it wasn't his, and so he just
Mm.
completely abandoned, like, taking care of it, the child. So I
Man.
wonder. I have a hard time.
Wrapping your head around that.
Yeah, even just like morally, like, even if it, like, yeah, that might be a huge blow, like that might suck. But at the same time, it's more than you at this point, because you were in this kid's life for how many years now? Just all of a sudden you're dropping him
Yeah.
dead, kind of thing.
Yeah, you stepped in, now you're leaving. It's no different than being the blood father
Hmm.
and bouncing and never talking to the kid again. I think, it's
Yeah,
like um making the kid is not the hard part,
yeah.
obviously. And so it's yeah, man, once you step in that role, I think it's a commitment until they're an adult. It's,
Hmm.
there's no going back. There shouldn't be. And it's unfortunate that that is so common today and such a huge problem in today's society. But
Yeah,
yeah, man, I don't know. Shitty parenting sucks to see, but I think it's inevitable, man. There's always
yeah.
good for the bad and there's bad for, um, nature versus nurture. You hope that there's also the aspect that, like, that kid, m- like, I mean, there's a percentage that those kids are going to grow up to be fine. And in
Hmm.
fact, maybe more experienced than the opposite side of the spectrum where they were raised in a completely well household because, they weren't talked down to like that. They weren't raised rough, essentially. And so, I mean, I feel like there's the fighter aspect, where they could fight through it and hopefully know right from wrong and do what they didn't see,
Hmm.
raise a kid how they wanted to raise the kid and not how they were. I mean, maybe. So,
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I Stuff like that. When I first heard it, like how it was said, it was supposed to be like a funny story, but at the same time, I was like, bro, that's that's a kid who's never going. Yeah, there's a chance he could come out fine, maybe even stronger from it. But at the same time, like, no matter what, that kid's probably going to have abandonment issues of some kind. He's going to have
oh yeah,
something he's going to carry for the rest of his life, just because you feel like you were slighted. You can feel any way you want about the baby mama. You have every right to do that. It's not the kid's fault of what happened. He
yeah,
he looked at you as a father for so long. I want to say the kid was like 4 or 5. So it's one of those things like it's not like I don't know. That's something that irks me.
That's tough, man. That is tough. But, then is there like the new baby daddy? Is he trying to intervene into that role? Is he's like, no,
From what I
I'm the
understand,
father now. And
I don't want to really put this person's business out there, so I'm not going to get too much into their life to give away who it is. But
oh
they
yeah,
are
sure.
married now, and I think the new husband has it. They have a kid together, so at least he has someone to step into that role of another parent. In my opinion, either way, I guess they're going to have someone. They're always going to know that this person isn't my dad. What
Yeah,
happened to
that
my real
sucks.
dad? Even though the other person
Still
wasn't his
had
real
to
dad.
hurt.
Yeah,
Yeah, still had to hurt somewhere. Yeah. That's tough, man. That is tough.
yeah.
All right, well, that's it for
Oh,
this week.
so aborted albums transition.
Yeah. Uh, yeah.
All right, on to lighter subjects.
Yeah.
All right, let me pull up. Okay, here we go. Scripture. Yeah. All right. So this week we chose aborted.
Oh my God,
Disclaimer.
that looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
Holy
So,
shit, dude.
um, so I'm going to be completely honest. I did not listen to the first album at all because it's not on Spotify, and
Oh,
I already
really?
had I had a hard time kind of getting through a lot of these albums already. So if it's okay with you, I'm just going to put their debut album at the bottom. Um,
Sure.
yeah, sorry if you're a diehard Aborted fan and this is your favorite album.
That first album is the best.
That was when they were the grimiest. That was before they got big.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do,
I
bro.
liked them because they sounded shitty then.
So yeah, disclaimer. I'm not super familiar with anything before Necrotic Manifesto because that's when I got into them. I did try to at least listen to some of each album for this, except for the first one, obviously. Some things I don't remember too well, but I can kind of give a little overall feel and get my rankings based off that. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Once we get to a certain line, I'll have more opinions, but this is going to start off a little rough for me.
Yeah, same here. I second that. The first, like, it looks like 4 or 5 albums, like, I'm not gonna really have much to say at all. I picked them up on, I guess, I don't know. My first experience with Aborted was a music video on YouTube, and it has a Russian title. Or wait, where are they from?
They're
Are they
from
Polish
Belgium.
or oh, Belgium?
Yeah, I want to say Belgium.
So they speak Belgish.
Belgiish. Is it German? Is
Dumb
Belgium
joke.
German
I
language?
yeah, I think so. I don't know, man. I
So I
I
want to say they're their own country,
I
but I
might
want to
get
say they
that
speak
wrong.
German.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, honestly, I just know that the video that I saw, the very first aborted video I saw, it's a title in a foreign language. But I'm sitting here looking at all their albums and it's all English, so I don't know what I
I think
looked
I
at.
know which one you're talking about. I think it's Die for Longwing from
Maybe,
Necrotic,
I don't know.
or I think it's from Necrotic Manifesto.
Oh, okay, yeah. And it had an epic breakdown in it with like a ridiculous uh bass drop. Like,
Yeah, I think I know which one you're talking about because I think that was around the same time I got into him too. Die Verswet.
yeah, Versweflung.
Yeah, that one.
Versweflung. Yeah. Yeah, it
Yeah,
might have been that one. Yeah, that's kind of like it's pretty much the same album that I started, The Extirpation Agenda. This is actually a really good album too.
yeah.
But um before that, shit, dude, yeah, I don't know if I have not gandered these. Totally unprepared for this list.
All right. So since we're probably on the same page, I'm just gonna put Engineering the Dead also in the bottom.
Okay.
I feel like I listened to it. I don't remember anything about it. Um, Goremageddon, their third album. I remember listening to it, and I feel like I was like, all right, this is probably when they got awesome because I remember Whitechapel was like, yeah, this is the album that got me into Board. It's pretty good. But I listened to it, it's like, it's it's not the Aborted we love. Still more the death metal side, not really the death grind that they, not the fun death grind that they became. I would probably give this. Let's put this down here. Not really a ranking, but I would say it's above these. Um, this one, what's this one called? The Archaic Arbitor. I want to say I listened to this right before we started this podcast today. Did you listen to this one at all?
Gormageddon?
What do you want to give Gormageddon? I'm going to give it a 3.
I mean, I'm kind of jamming it now. I think I'm gonna give it a 5
Okay,
because
so at
it
8.
does. I mean, it still sounds pretty good, man. I mean, really, for in looking at their discography, it looks like they're present from 2000 forward. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so they're like they're one of those bands. They just fucking started ripping out albums, dude, left and right.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. They got such a huge discography.
Oh
But
yeah,
yeah, I'll give it you said out of 8 or no,
uh,
8 total. So
8
okay.
total because I gave it a 3.
Okay, yeah, yeah. All right. I think
Anything
that's
you want
pretty
to
good.
add? Anything you want to add to
No,
this one?
no, like I said, I'm very inexperienced in this discography, so
Up next is the Archaic Arbitor, I think it's called. Um,
yeah.
this one is I actually like this one a little bit more. I listened to this right before we started today. Um, I can't really, like I said, I listened to it pretty quickly, but I would give this one about a 5. It sounds like they're kind of starting to go to their modern sound, but not quite there yet. They're getting closer. So for that, I'm going to give this one a 5. What would you give Archaic Arbitor?
Yeah, I'd probably give this one a 5 because I know the
Okay.
song Hecatomb. It's pretty badass.
Yeah, like I said, we're probably going to zoom through these first couple ones, just kind of a shotgun
Yeah.
blast. Like, yeah, this is our immediate thoughts.
And I'm being more generous. It's particularly more generous than I was with Behemoth, but I knew way more about Behemoth's discography than
mhm.
this one, so but I'm a big Aborted fan, so I don't know.
This one's called what's this? Bashed or uh, what's this one called again? It's the one right after Archaic. It has a different cover on Spotify.
Strychnine
Slaughter and
2013.
Apparatus.
Oh.
This one
Oh yeah, okay.
I'd probably give this one a probably 5. No, I'll give it a 4.5. I'd say they took a step back from Archaic Abattoir. It's similar sound, but I didn't like it as I didn't get into it like Archaic Abattoir. As soon as it starts, like you kind of get into a little bit more. This one is I feel like a little bit more shaky.
Really?
Have you listened to this one yet? Are you jamming it now?
Yeah, I'm just like peeking through it just to see if I know any song titles. I don't think I know any song titles. I know Surprise You're Dead. That's the last song on it because I think that's popped in a playlist on me, but I don't. Yeah, I'm not good on this one. So I'll agree with that. I'll give it a 4
All right, so
just
that
to
gives it
change it up.
a 8.5. I'll just put it right here above Gormageddon. All right. Up next, I did listen to this one right before the podcast. I do have an opinion on this one. It's a negative opinion. Stierchin 213. I don't know what the fuck they're trying to do on this one.
Strychnine. Isn't that Strychnine?
Yeah, it's so the what I listened to, it sounded like so Archaic Arbitor, like okay, they're going towards their sound. This one, it sounds like they took a lot of steps backwards and almost sounds like they took their aborted sound and ran it through a early 2000s metalcore filter. Like the
Really?
production and the mixing sounds worse, and the
Wow.
riffing sounds more like that Gothenburg melodic death metal that metalcore bands were doing in the early 2000s. I didn't care too much for this one from the few songs I listened to. Um, so I'd give this one about a 3. Like I thought this one was going to be good because the album cover is like, all right, this seems more pristine. It's closer to the albums I like. It's going to be better. I'm not too into this one.
Yeah, I
Eh,
did not start listening yet on this on Aborted, so I'll give this a 4 again. Fuck it.
okay. All right. So that puts that at a 7. I'll just put it down here. Okay. Into where things where we're getting to a little bit more familiar territory. Sorry if you're into this older stuff, and sorry, we're just gonna blow through those old ones. Now we're getting to things that I'm more familiar with. I listened to Global Flatline today, and this is fucking great. This is where it's getting more towards the boarded sound I like. I like this one a lot more.
Yeah.
Um, it has, especially the middle of the album. It was I gotta look it up.
The
So
Origin of
fecal,
Disease.
yeah, fecal forgery of scabs and boils, vermicular obscene obese, and expurgation euphoria. Those were great. And I looked it up. I guess Trevor Sternad was from Black Dahlia Murder was in vermicular obscene obese. Like
Oh, okay.
they have a lot of good features in this album. They have Trevor Sternad. They got the guy from Benighted. They got the guy from Rotten Sound.
Our
This is a pretty
Father
good
Who
album.
Art of Feces.
Yes. So I do like this album. However, I find it weird that they have 2 songs pretty much just about poop, or at least poop in the
Yeah.
title. They have fecal forgery, so fake poop, and Our Father Who Art of Feces, so Our Father Who Art of Poop.
Well, from a tepid whiff, true. It's like that's like
Is that like a fart?
I don't know, or like a whiff, like you're smelling it. I don't know. Like it's weird. Yeah, they're just disgusting, I guess. But I was watching a video of that. I don't know if you caught that. Like whenever I sent you, they released a series of videos in Spotify to explain the songs of Vault of Horrors, and
Okay.
Saven went into talking about the Golgotha. And so I like the Golgotha because of the vocal feature. I love his delivery on that. But
Hmm.
then I got to looking into the lyrics, and it literally the verses slithering merchant of feces, a whiff of my brew. And literally the whole song's about shit. Or it's the Golgothan, but it's about a fucking giant turd. And I didn't know that until I watched the video on Spotify of Sven talking about that. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, my favorite track on this album is a song about shit. Like, oh my gosh, dude. I felt like I got duped. But anyway, and I think he said in that video that for every album, there's a song about shit because they're just children at hearts. And so, like, I was like,
That
I
makes
didn't know
sense.
that though. Yeah, but I could totally see them doing that.
Yeah. Did you listen to this album at all? Global
Uh,
Flatline?
yeah, I dig this album. One of my favorite aborted tracks is on this album, the Origin of Disease. I just love it's just a
Hmm.
ripper. Like, I can't get enough of that one. But yeah, it's a really badass album. I think this is, like you said, when they really started to adopt that aborted sound that, we kind of know today, especially in the more recent albums. That's where this just kind of first started. There's still a little bit more death metal-y here, than they are like the tech side of things, but it's still really good. That whole album rips, dude. I really like this one a lot. I'm gonna give this a 7.
Okay. So yeah, I would say they've Sven probably found his how to do his vocals great, how he felt comfortable with it back in Archaic Arbitor. I feel like this album is where the rest of the band felt like, all right, this is how we can actually. They found their groove. They found their. This is how we can make everything work. I feel like when they found it in this album, um, lots of great songs on it, and I didn't know about really listening to this album until today, all the way through, to where there's even the in the bonus track. eruct, eructations of carnal artistry has a slammy part, which was a big surprise
Yeah.
for me. That was cool.
Yeah.
And then even at the end of the song, "End" still has the awesome Oppenheimer quote, which I'm always going to love. That now have become death, the destroyer of worlds. I love that
Okay.
quote, especially when death metal bands use it great. I'm
Yeah.
going to give this. I'll do a 7 as well. 7's a good one for this. So
Yeah.
let's put 14. All right. And that is it for Global Flatline. Up next is the Necrotic Manifesto in 2014. This sounds like it's the album that got both of us into Aborted. This has some
Oh
of my
yeah.
favorite songs on it, with Your Entitlement Means Nothing, featuring Vince from Acacia Strain, and then
Hell
also
yeah.
my favorite sample they've used, the sample from Hobo with a Shotgun. Have you?
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I know
Yeah,
what you're talking about. I know the movie you're talking about, but I didn't
yeah.
know they used that.
That's that beginning part, where he says, "I swear, if any of you look away for even a second, I'll make you wish you were fucking aborted." That's from Hobo with a
Ah,
Shotgun, and it fits perfectly with what the song's about because that was an entitled prick from the movie. So
that's
yeah,
so cool.
and then the Davidian Deceit, another great sample of the David Koresh, the Davidian branch people. God wants me to give
Oh,
you my seed, Libby. Do you understand what that means? So creepy, so good. Um,
is that David Koresh?
yeah, from Branch Davidians.
Ah, shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what makes it even more
Wow.
creepy. Is like that's an actual conversation he had with his followers.
Oh my gosh, I did not know that. That's pretty
Hmm.
wild. Damn, that's fucked up. Yeah, that's brutal, man. And then the track right after that, Coffin Upon Coffin.
Hmm.
Dude, that's a fucking ripper too.
Yeah, this is a great album. For me, I'm gonna put it at a. I'll give it a 8.
I'm gonna give this one a 7 again, I think.
Okay.
It's good, but it sits really close there to the Necrotic Manif or no, the Global Flatline. But
Okay.
Extirpation Agenda, I love that song. And I
Hmm.
love the delivery of those words in that song, I think more than anything. Extirpation Agenda. It's
Yeah,
so it's so awesome.
I love his I love his delivery of how he does things. He doesn't do like he does the weird delivery, like the just the little end of the when he says it, "Genda."
Yeah.
Just the little things like that. I like gives a little bit of
Yeah,
more grossness.
it's so signature, man. His vocal style is so unique too. Like there's not a lot of vocalists that are doing what he's doing. He is like kind of in his own lane. That's
Hmm.
what I love about Aborted.
And I do love Sven with Vince. They have good
Oh,
dynamic
they sound
together.
so, yeah, they do, man. They sound great together.
Hmm. And I want to say this is around the time Coma Witch came out, isn't it?
I think so. This was 2015, Necrotic
Oh, was it?
Manifesto. So
So
yeah.
when did Coma Witch came out? Because he was also on Coma Witch.
I think that's a 2015er.
This says 2014. But either way,
Oh,
like, well,
okay.
it's late 2014, so they probably were working together. I don't know if they toured. They need to do more
Yeah,
stuff together.
probably. They do.
All right. Up next, this is an album I had a lot of hype for when it was coming out. Retrobore.
Yes, dude. And this is like what's not typical about this is that you have an album, Necrotic Manifesto comes out in 2015. This comes out a year later. And so usually that year after album is going to suck because you're just
Hmm.
like, they didn't give it enough time. Should have wrote better. But no, this fucking album slaps, dude. It is like front to back. Oh, it is such good Aborted. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this is one of my favorites, dude, for sure.
And I love the creepy intro track they have. That da 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 da.
Na, na, na,
It
na,
leads
na, na,
so
na.
good. It's so good
It is.
into, and I feel like this is probably around the time. I don't know if technically the other albums have it, but I feel like it is a somewhat of a theme of like a throwback to horror movies, like an actual reference to horror movies and old school horror movies. Because it has this, it
Hmm.
has actual like a bit by bit is from the classic Black Cat. Then you have Terror Vision, kind of similar thing, and then you obviously have Vault of Horrors is all horror movies. I feel like this kind of starts that kind of trend a little bit. I don't think Mania Cult had too much of it, did it? I don't remember
Which one?
Mania Cult. Do you know if that had like that throwback to
No, I think that they were kind of trying to create this. They created this, like, it's about one serial killer and his legion of
okay.
minions sort of deal. Like, they created this guy, Waylon something,
Oh
and
yeah.
that's the guy you see on the cover of Maniacal. They even had like a little figure you could buy of
Oh
him or
yeah.
some shit. So
I
yeah,
gotcha.
it was kind of weird, but uh
Yeah.
hang on. I'm missing a key thing here. So in one of these Aborted albums, there is an intro track that Cattle Decapitation used, the same sound bit. Um, it might be on Retrogore actually. It's that and it like sounds
Oh,
like
I'm thinking of Whitechapel because I know Whitechapel did the same thing with the beginning of Somatic Defilement. That
yeah, is that what that is? Is that what I'm thinking of?
because I know beginning of Gardeners of Eden
Yeah,
starts
kind
with
of, and then
that.
it goes into like the pigs, and like
Yeah, and I
ree.
know the Whitechapel it does that same thing, but then it goes into I think Jeffrey Dahmer's uh, interview tape with some drums.
Okay. See, I think Aborted uses it too, but I just can't remember what song it is that they use it for.
I know I've heard that bit by bit sample as in another song, but I can't remember what other band used it. It might have been Cattle Decap. That I'm gonna rip you limb from limb, bit by bit.
Yeah. Oh, it's the myth. It is on Retrogore, the Mephitic Conundrum.
Just one second.
I think. Play it and see if you think that's it.
Uh,
I feel like it was more blatant than that. I don't think I'm getting it right.
which song? The Mephitic Conundrum.
Hmm.
Yep, that's it.
Is that it?
That's it.
That's what I thought. But yeah, it's so weird how so many bands have used that now. I forget that Whitechapel did that too.
Yeah. Uh, some of the, probably my favorite word songs on this with Termination Redux. And you got great songs like Divine Impediment with Cattle Decap. You
Oh
got
shit, yeah. That's
the
like
title
they
track.
blew up on that song.
Hmm. And then
Such a
bit by
good one
bit.
too.
Yeah, it's a great album. I'm gonna give this one a 9. What about you? What's your score for
Um,
Retrogore?
yeah, you know what, Retrogore, I'm going to 9 as well. And I
Okay.
gotta shout out the songs. I like dude, from the get-go. This album is a full fucking blast. Like the front half, particularly for me. Retrogore is the first song that it kicks into after the intro.
Yes.
So good. Cadaverous Banquet, even
Hmm.
that it breaks into that opening O, like, dude, to this day, that is one of Saven's most epic openings to a track ever because it's just this ripping and it just stops and he just comes in. I'm just like, dude, oh, it's like it's just that vocal right there. I just want thousands of like it's such an epic moment. But anyways, that song for that reason. And then, like you said, bit by bit. Oh, hell yeah. Divine Impediment. God, dude, this front to back, I love this album. 9 for me. So yeah.
So far, that's the highest with 18. Up next is what year was this? 2017 or no, 18 probably.
Teen Terrorvision.
Terror Vision. This had a lot of hype as well. I remember. Um,
Yeah.
I am actually not too into it. I know you really like this one. I was not too into it
Ah,
because I think I was still on the retro gores. Like, it's not retro gore 2.0. Um,
yeah.
it's still good, but it wasn't what I was wanting from them. Still has some great songs: Vespertine Decay, Squalor Opera. Um, what else was that? Those are the top two I can remember off the top of my head.
The track Terrorvision is
Oh yeah,
probably the top banger for me on this album, honestly. And it features vocalist from Septic Flesh. I don't know the guy's name. I'm not big on Septic Flesh, but his feature, I love it. Like, and it's literally just his spoken word kind of vocal style. Which he kind of like really does that throughout all of Septic Flesh, but it's just I think like how you said Sven and Vincent sound together. I think like Sven and maybe it's just a Sven factor. Maybe he just sounds great with
he just
everyone.
brings the
But
best out in other people.
dude, yeah, for real. Because like Sven uh, with the guy from Septic Flesh, like he's got that great deep like
Hmm.
it's just I love his feature in that song, dude. And that feature really makes that track for me because like it gets to the end of the song and then he kicks in with that and it just kind of gets real chanty like. Oh, it's so fucking awesome. But TerraVision, yes, I was a sucker. I was sucked into this album so much. And from that, it's a banger. Farewell to the Flesh, Vespertine Decay, that was a big one. Squalor Opera, I love that one. And then Deep Red, that's like a deep track or deep cut, whatever you call that. Um, but it's a ripper, dude. I don't know. Awesome album, I think. I'm going to give this album an 8.
Okay, I'm probably gonna give it a. I'll give it a 7.5. I do think it. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 7.5. That's gonna
All
make
right.
it. Yeah, what? Okay, so that makes it 15.5 right out of Necrotic Manifesto.
Sorry. Cat's
You're
one
good.
in and out.
Oop, fuck. No,
So
damn it.
what's the total on TerraVision? Sorry.
Just a second. I fucked things up. There we go.
All right. Hey, I
It's
might
at
as well pee real
15.5.
quick.
Uh,
Sorry about that.
you're good.
Had to take me a Twinkie. Twinkle. All right. Back to Aborted. TerraVision hits, what was its ranking? Sorry.
It was number 2 at 15.5.
Okay.
Up next, we have Maniacal. This came out in
Hmm.
2021, I want to
21.
say. Okay.
Post
So,
slash kind of mid-pandemic.
yeah. Um,
God damn it, Cap. So,
just a
yes,
second.
maniacal.
I'm trying to go to remember the songs. Because I remember it had a great opening track with Verda. Like actually, instead of what they were doing with the an intro track where it's just kind of like sounds, kind of build it up for the next song. This one actually had like an actual
Yeah.
intro track, not like a full song, but like actual music to where get you pumped,
Yeah.
about some serious stuff. Um,
Right. Kind of breakdowny and shit.
mhm. um, there was some stuff on here. I feel the same with this as I probably do about TerraVision. I felt like there was a good idea going on, but I wasn't as into it as much. Um, that's just my opinion, though. Like it has a
Yeah,
great album artwork.
it's weird, man. It's definitely it's a weird turn Aborted made. And it's not like they did like anything crazy different, but honestly, it's like I I did not really get into this one. It felt like a filler album to me, if I'm going to be completely honest. A lot of
I
it I
gotcha.
felt like was filler. I don't know. The songs just
Yeah,
didn't hit me the same, really.
and I remember like I went back to it after a while. And I was like, okay, this isn't actually that bad. It has some good parts, but since then I haven't really gotten back into it. Um, I don't know. I feel like it did get a lot of praise, and I feel like because you know how I am, if there's too much people talking about an album, I'm not going to be too into it. So I'm going to give this album a 7, um, if that. Yeah, I'll just give it a 7. It has good parts, but I don't feel like it's a complete album. It has a great idea. It just doesn't hit the mark for me.
Yeah. I think I agree with that. I mean, I'll highlight some songs I liked. I mean, honestly, Maniacal's okay,
Hmm.
but by the time this song came out, I was already kind of getting bored with Joe Bad's vocals. I feel bad. Like I mean, I really liked that guy. I really like Fit for an Autopsy, but I just Sven, he's way more brutal than I think Joe Bad is
Hmm.
from Fit for an
Yeah.
Autopsy, vocally. So I don't know. But Dementophobia, that's a really good song, and A Volker Quagmire. Those are both cool songs. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Not not one of my favorites. So I'm gonna give this album a 7.5.
All right, so we're at 14.5 for that one, just slightly above Global Flatline, but just slightly below Necrotic Manifesto. Just 1 second. I wrote, fuck.
Damn, Pat.
All right. And then last, but won't be least, we have A Vault of Horrors 2024.
Jeez.
The So they've been, I wouldn't say they've been building up, but they have had a history of just great features on albums. And so they
Mm-hmm.
just decided, I guess, to just come out with an album that is a
Fucking
feature on
all
every single
features.
song.
It's a crazy idea, but a crazy cool idea, man. I mean,
Hmm.
I'm sure there's a lot of money that went into this choice. Like, I can't imagine that these were all just free features. I mean, maybe a
No.
few of them, maybe a few were just like, oh, hell yeah, I'll take the opportunity to get the, notice. So I don't
Hmm.
know. I don't know how that works, but dude, incredible album of just features.
And now looking back, I'm always wondering, would it have even been better for, like the album artwork is fucking great. I almost wonder would it have been better to make every single one of those bodies be one of the people featured in the album.
Oh, that would be cool. Like their face.
Yeah, it's all slowly building up. They use each person they've had a feature to build this album, kind of their artwork kind of thing. I love the theme, the whole horror movies, all the references to the horror movies. I love when bands do that. Um,
That
I
is cool.
love Dreadbringer. Um, I kind of like Shadow of Intent. They're kind of hit and miss for me. I love them in this song. I love Dreadbringer. It's a good album. Um, still hasn't I haven't fully delved into this album as much as I should as their past Aborted albums. So I do need to give this album more of a chance. I do like it, but I think I am missing the full thing so far of how much I could like it, just because I haven't really, kind of like their old albums, I haven't sat down and actually fully understood everything that's going on in this album. But I will give this
Hmm.
a. I'll give it a weird one. Let's do an 8.2. Because I do
Interesting.
love
Point two.
Dreadbringer, and I do love some of the vibes, except for the despised icon feature. Obviously, I've mentioned that.
Yeah. You despised icon hater.
Yes.
I don't get it, man. Them Canadians are
It's
The
something
shiz.
about it. It's something about
Hey,
it. He has a. I don't like the tough guy attitude in an Aborted song. I don't know what it.
I think it's great. I think that this song is awesome. Okay, I'll say on the Despised Icon thing, that track specifically, Death Cult. I do think it's weird that his hardcore style is on a feature track about a Texas. I think is it Texas Chainsaw
I think
Massacre?
so.
Is that like the Death Cult? It seems like a Texas kind of
Hmm.
backwoods family killing vibe.
Yeah.
I assume it's Texas Chainsaw, but I don't know. Because I think they say the Saw is the family or something like that in the
Yeah, I think that is that
20.
one because I think that cause then whenever they announced each feature, they had like a picture, and I want to say that one was like someone with a chainsaw.
Okay. Yeah, I'll say that the hype for this was ecstatic for me. It was just awesome all around, dude. This is certainly one of my favorite Aborted albums. I think I agree with you though, in that like I don't think it's quite there. I don't think I've heard the best Aborted yet. If
Hmm.
I have, it's probably Retrogorish era.
Hmm.
But this was definitely close. It's just
Yeah.
this is almost like its own. If we had a different chart of feature albums, because it's like it, not that it doesn't fit in the discography, but it's so different from the discography because of the features, to be honest.
Hmm.
Um,
And I was even
but I
thinking
mean,
today if maybe instead of doing an actual Aborted album ranking, we even just ranked every feature that Aborted's had.
that'd be cool. Yeah, that
But
would be cool. That would be a list. Yeah, Dreadbringer, dude. I think that's probably the takeaway best song of this album. Ben Durr and Sven sound so damn good together. Literally every vocalist I think on this album sounds great with Sven. But what I like about this album and the features is that, or at least Sven in general, through all of their discography, is he's good at picking people that don't sound like him, but then again, no one really sounds like him. So it's
mhm.
easy to identify the features in these songs. Whereas you take, okay, Brotherhood of Sleep and Johnny Ciardulio, or however the hell you say his name, the guy from, I believe he's in Carcosa. I'm not a Carcosa listener. I've tried to listen to him. I don't really get into him. But on this album, on that song, he sounds fucking badass. But he sounds really badass with Sven. But I would imagine if he had a feature with another deathcore vocalist, they're gonna blend in. Like I'm not gonna really know the difference. But I will say
Mhm.
that Johnny Dude's fucking squeal. Oh my gosh, hot dog, dude! It is one of the best squeals that I've ever heard, and he does it in Brotherhood of Sleep. It's That's one of my favorite tracks too. Condemned to Rot. I feel like it's easy to skip, but then again, like oh, I love that song. We're going to. And like, what's weird is a lot of this album is almost kind of typical, or not typical, but almost kind of like cliche. Like you have these kind of semi-cliche lines
Mhm.
that I feel like I imagine Sven wrote most of the vocals, so like, but then again, the dude's like fucking what, 20 albums deep. It's like, yeah, at
Yeah.
some point he's gonna be repeating words, repeating, stuff that other bands have said. So I don't know. You know what I
I don't
mean
know.
on that?
Yeah, but at the same time, I think that adds to um the texture of this album is that it's supposed to be campy a little bit. It's not supposed to be taken super seriously.
Yeah.
Yes, they are a serious band, but obviously they have a little bit of fun in there, and I think that's where they shine the best is where it's serious, but it's not like a black metal band where there's like we kill people kind of thing, like take it seriously
Yeah.
kind of like it's serious subject matter, but at the same time not taken super seriously. Like they have songs about poop, like
Yeah.
and I think that
Right.
that's what makes it more fun and more enjoyable is when they have those cheesy if they have a cheesy line that kind of adds to that campy feel, and I think that's what kind of makes this one shine more than Mania Cold or Terror Vision for me.
Yeah. Yeah, this was definitely a next level above those albums, I'll say there. I mean, I can highlight damn near every song on here, dude. Like I said, but the my favorite feature, I still to this, even though the song's about poop, the Golgothan, his name is Hal Micro Utsikos. I'm probably not pronouncing that right. But anyways, he's a one-man band guy, to my understanding, and he's got his own project going. Shit, I cannot think of the name of it for the life of me. But when this album dropped, I scoped them out and I sent you a link of theirs, one of their tracks. And it's kind of cool. He's got they're kind of like semi-symphonic blackened tech death almost. They got a cool vibe going on. Interesting music, but if you like his vocals, it's definitely more in the vein of like that style, but it's just his delivery on the Golgothan is just it's just so characterized, man, and so different than the other features. That's why I loved it so much. But anyways, Hellbound, Matt Magachi, that song made me a fan of new Cryptopsy, just because that's, obviously Cryptopsy's vocals, but um I've said this before, but that guy is his change from high to low to high is so unexpected. He just like throws them out of the bag like out of nowhere, and it totally catches my attention. So sold me on that track. The Shape of Hate with Ollie from Archspire. I mean, you just can't. His is
Hmm.
so fast. It's just anything with him on it's badass in my opinion.
I will say
And then
I did like that. So when I saw he was on the track, I was very hesitant. I do like Archspire, but I was worried he was going to do what he did with Volvodini, where he's just going to do this super ridiculous, super fast thing. But instead, like it's still somewhat fast, but it's not like the ridiculous fast. Like he doesn't take away. He blended in great with the song. I'll give him that. That was a
you,
very
you didn't like him on his Volvodina feature?
I do, but at the same time, I don't want that in Aborted. That's not what I like Aborted
Oh, okay.
for. It's like
Well, see,
I
I
like
think
steak
he
and
did
ice cream. I
great.
don't want to eat ice cream with steak.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I think that I don't know the Volvodina feature. I think I like that Volvodina track more than I like the Shape of Hate, to be completely honest. But
Really?
because yeah, I think that Ollie's feature, he is going stupid fast, but he's hitting with every single blast beat, like every snare on that. Like, I
Yeah.
can't even mimic how fast he goes. But I think that he hits with the rhythm so much better in that song than, or not necessarily better in that song than he does in this one. But I just think that that song is more of a hit sounding than this one was for me, anyways. But Naturam Di Monto, David Simonic from Signs of the Swarm, his feature stood out. I love that song. It's awesome. Ricky Hoover, I'm not really big into Of Sulfur.
I
I haven't got on their
yeah.
train. He's
I
okay. He's cool and Malevolent Haze in that song, but this one on the last song on this album. But I haven't. I've tried to get into Of Sulfur, but I have not.
I haven't checked them out, but also I wasn't into Suffocate, and I know they had a little bit of hype back in the day. So
Yeah.
I feel like that's where all of this of sulfur hype comes from. But I didn't get the original, so I don't really want to get into it. So I'll check it out, but I'm not seeing the hype as much that I feel
Well,
people have.
you'll probably be disappointed. It's old Suffocate vocals, which I was a fan of old Suffocate. They had one album that like I had on repeat in high school, but um of Sulfur, it's pretty much old Suffocate vocals, but now he does this like kind of annoying like scream. I don't like his high pitched scream. And then on top of that, they do the fucking cleans out of nowhere with the old symphonic trackings and shit. And it's like, yeah, not my dig. But I don't know. Anyways, Malevolent, not to totally dump shit on it, but Malevolent Haze is a pretty good song. I like his like vocal specifically. Fuck. I don't know what he's saying. We're in a malevolent haze or something like that at the end of the track. But I think it's a good ending track. It's pretty cool.
I gotcha. What score would you give this one?
I think I'm going to give this one a. I really like this album. This album is very different than any other Aborted album. But like I said, I don't think I've heard the best of Aborted yet. So I think that I'm going to give this an 8.7.
Okay, so I gave it an 8.2, so that's 16.9.
We snubbed it by a point.
All right.
So it's still the second best.
Yep. All right. Are we
Interesting.
good with this? Are you good with what you see? Then I'll say it out loud for the audio listener onlys.
Yeah, I think so, man. I think that
All
looks
right.
pretty good to me.
All right. So for those of you who aren't watching the video and just listening on Spotify, at number 1 we have Retro Gore. Number 2 we have Vault of Horrors. 3 is Terror Vision. 4 is The Chronic Manifesto. 5 is Mania Cult. 6 is Global Flatline. And well, let's face it, the rest you don't give a care about. So, anyways, that is our list. I would say Retro Gore and Vault of Horrors is somewhat close, but I feel like that's the biggest gap we have in the albums we actually cared about. It's just
Yeah.
from 16.9 to 18. And I will say, I remember listening to Retro Gore again today and Global Flatline, and listening to those two, it made me think of when we were talking about the demigod and apostasy era of Behemoth.
Okay.
This is where it's like this was their most punchiest era. This was when they finally
Sweet
got the
spot.
groove. Yeah, this was the good spot before they got a little bit bigger and they changed it to very more get more crowds and stuff. It's not that there's anything wrong with the new stuff. It's just that this was the where it was fresh. This was the good stuff. It was just fun times. So, all
Oh yeah.
right. I think that's all we got for this. So I'll end this share. Now it's just two dudes staring at each other. Anyways,
Just me and you.
that's
What are you
all we
drinking
got.
tonight? You having a sippy poo?
I've had about a couple beers, some Bush Lights.
Oh,
I think I have a
nice.
little bit left of my Ghost.
Oh my gosh, you're caffeineing right now? Jeez.
Yeah, well, I've been drinking that since I got home, on and off.
Damn.
Oh, do you drink Ghost energy drinks?
Yeah, I definitely dig Ghost. Um, Although if I've got a pre-workout that I've bought that's scoop form, then I'm
Mhm.
gonna dodge any gas station drink. So, I'm just gonna
I
wait till
gotcha.
typically my routine is I wake up, get ready for work, go to work, get home, then I work out. A lot of people like
Okay.
to get up, work out, and then go to work. I'm not that disciplined. I've not got to that level yet.
I prefer to do that just because I think it wakes me up, and also it's not something I'm looking at treading or trying to come up with an excuse to get out of it, kind of thing. That's just me and my either discipline or lack of discipline. Sometimes it's just whether or not I'd rather cave and sleep in than it's like treading this, and then I am actively like, oh, I could not do it, kind of thing. So, but and
Yeah.
also it helps me drink less caffeine because I drink a lot of coffee in the morning. So, but they
Yeah,
came out with a
I
new
definitely
flavor.
do. Oh, really?
It's the Have you had their Welch's Grape pre-workout?
No, no, I haven't.
They came out with an energy drink form. The Welch's Grape pre-workout. It's good.
Fire?
Yeah,
Nice. I'll
yeah.
have to try that.
We've gotten into Ghost.
I've been on I got the powder form of what's the shit called? Rise. It's like
Is that
Ryse.
is that a
Um,
Ghost or is that a separate brand?
no, this is a different brand. This is All Legends something. I don't know. Rise. But anyways, it's a pre-workout, but it's got 300 or 32. I think they just call it 3,200 or 3,200 grams of beta alanine or something. But that's I love that shit. That's the stuff that makes your skin tingle.
I
So
do
like
like that.
oh, that's what gets me ready to work out. Like I'm not really ready to work out unless I do a pre-workout of some sort. I can't just go in it raw dog anymore. I'm so tired all the time that like I've gotta have a pre-workout and a ginormous dose of caffeine of some sort.
At what point are we not just rewarding ourselves with meth for working out?
Yeah. Yeah. I know. Well, it's like, dude, and like I was at GNC the other day and they literally I was looking at all the different types they got because they got fucking just all kinds. There's this kind from the Bucked Up brand called Mother Bucker, and it's I shit you not, 400 milligrams of caffeine.
Oh my God.
Yeah, which is absurd. And then no bullshit, 6,400 grams of beta alanine.
That's too
Like,
much. Isn't it
oh my
400?
God.
I
How would
want
that
to
not
say
make my skin just like fucking burn?
400 is the recommended maximum amount before you start having health problems for your caffeine for the day.
Yeah, I don't think you can take any more caffeine in the day aside from that. Like that's you don't want to get in that range at all.
Did you hear about the Panera energy drink thing they had where people died?
Oh no.
So Panera, I think it was a year ago now. They had this supercharged lemonade, and it was like 370 whatever of caffeine. So it was like right there to the limit, and but it's out in the lobby, so people could just get refills of it. Some
Oh
dude had
shit.
some dude took three and had a heart attack on his drive home.
Oh my gosh.
Some girl
That's
from
insane.
some like 18-year-old girl had a heart attack walking back home after one.
Holy shit.
Okay,
That's
so I guess she wasn't like
crazy.
into energy drinks. She just thought it was like some new lemonade thing they had.
Holy shit, that's crazy, man. Damn. You'd have think that would have like shut down the business. It's pretty wild.
I don't even know if they stopped selling. I think they just like made it towards behind the counter.
Oh, really? So they still have it?
I think so. I don't know. I haven't tried it. I don't like going to Panera because it's expensive, and I feel
It's
like
like basic foods.
yeah,
Like the most basic shit ever. I
it's a
will say the bread
Starbucks that
bowls are
sells
pretty
lunch.
good. Yeah. I mean, and
Like,
I'm not a bread guy, but I can dig some Panera bread. It's
yeah, and
nice
their
and
soups
warm.
aren't bad, but I don't
Yeah.
feel like paying that much for a side and
Yeah,
calling it a meal.
I agree. Yeah, definitely agree. Yeah, I always kind of leave there still hungry,
Yeah,
almost.
yeah. Speaking of hungry,
I
if you're
want
hungry for more content from us, you can check out our YouTube, our
Oh,
check us out on TikTok.
that's exactly what the people have been dying for.
hmm You're saying,
I, just the inner fatty of me. I'm thinking of restaurant ideas, and what I want is an all-you-can-eat barbecue buffet. Why is that not an American thing? Like
I
that's
can
got
s-
America written all over it.
I can see it being an issue because of how long it could take to cook or smoke some of those barbecue things, to where you can't really
That is
plan
true.
it out if you don't know how busy you're going to be and you can't have it constantly stocked.
Yeah, you just have fucking loads of ribs. And I just see the cook sitting at the fucking door with his arms just on the hips. God damn it. No one's coming by again.
Why do you guys
I've
keep
cooked
having
these
me make
ribs
these
overnight.
ribs?
Yeah.
Well,
I've
the brisket
wasted
was
30
gone in an hour.
racks. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that is a problem, man. Well, it's like there's this new cafe joint that just opened at the lake not even too long ago. And it's already like dying down, but their prices are terrible. And it's just like fucking just add water foods. It's like a bullshit buffet. It's like it started out good. I say just add water foods, but it's like, but seriously, just add water potatoes. It's like they just come in
Oh,
like a
I
pouch.
thought you were
So,
saying like it's like, yeah, they give you like a pill or some powder and you have to go mix it at
oh,
your table. Can I have more
yeah,
water?
yeah,
Can I have a refill
yeah,
of water?
yeah. No, it's just a bunch of fake shit and doesn't taste like it was cooked with passion. I don't know. It's some of those places are just destined to die, but yeah, man. I guess I definitely see the conundrum of a barbecue buffet. And I think that's probably the same problem with Chinese buffet, but I think that Chinese buffet, they're just like, it's still moist. It's good.
Yeah.
Just leave it out there. It'll be eaten.
I don't know. I
I
don't
don't
feel
know.
like Chinese food would take as long to cook, though. And also, I feel like they could also, I'm not saying they do it, but they probably could also just buy the store-bought, like, just sweet and sour chicken without the sauce. And they just like, all right, we need more
Yeah.
sesame. All right, just put it on the thing, put some sauce
Yeah.
on it.
Dump it. Yeah. True. Now, I will say this. Why does every Chinese buffet suck?
That's debatable. I don't know why you want to talk shit on the greatest American staple we've ever known.
It's a great American staple, but yet it's like the greatest shitty American staple because it's never good. But yet they're
I
always
love it.
frequented.
I
I
love
mean,
it.
it's like a love-hate relationship, but it's like it is good, but it's never great, I feel like.
Yeah, I do feel like they are more expensive than they're worth. But there is a it depends on which one it is. Some are there's a there's a big gap, there's a big net of the good ones and then the bad ones. I've had some really good ones, and then I've had like it's whatever. Like
Yeah.
there's one up in Maryville, Joy Walk, and it's like a super buffet. Like there's multiple you can get like just about anything, like all different types of chicken, coconut chicken, pineapple chicken, sesame chicken, pretty much any kind of flavor. That one
Well,
was
is
pretty
this where
good.
you and your dad
Yeah,
ate?
this is where my dad asked if we were okay.
This is where he thought we were a gay couple?
Yep. Yeah, you were there. I forgot about that. I forgot that was that Joy Walk.
Oh, great times. I'll never forget that little sit down
That
and
weird
eat.
exchange. Like, yeah, I guess it is kind of weird. I just brought my male friend to meet my dad. Just
Mhm.
thought, we're stopping by Maryville. Might as well see my dad.
Didn't he pull out the partner word or something like that?
I don't know. I just
Or
remember like we were sitting there. It's like, so how do you feel about the Congress making gay marriage legal? And I feel like I looked up at him, and I think you did too. It's like, oh, I see what's going on.
yeah. It was pretty funny. Good times.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want more good times in your life, you guys need to check out us on TikTok, YouTube. We're on Facebook, Spotify. Give us a follow, give us a subscribe. Do whatever that dead social media program you found us on is. Just so much
Absolutely.
support. Emails,
Hell
whatever.
yes.
Give us some suggestions. If there's any concerts we missed and you want to see, um, we've been to a lot of different venues. Some we don't know that well, like Dunwater Hall, but we can give you what we would do in that situation. Any other parenting advice you want to give us or want us to talk about, we'll try to facilitate it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Any,
give us some shitty parenting tips.
yeah, yeah,
Tell us what
um,
shitty music you're listening to.
yeah. Um, and also, if you're in a band nearby and you want us to check out your music, just let us know. Send it on over.
Yep.
Or if you're in
Subject to
Missouri,
be hated.
yes. Or if you're a band in Missouri and you'd like us to interview you, we would love to do that too.
We do. We want to talk to people.
I did shoot. I'll do this. I'll talk to you about it after we're done recording. Anyways, you have anything else you want to add to the audience?
I don't think so, man. I think that's pretty good.
All right. See y'all. Oh, and we can do this after. Anyways, see y'all next week. Death Metal Daddy's out.
Fuck it. We're doing it live. Recording in progress.